Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another broadcast live here from Darlington School. Glad to be back with you. We are hanging out at the lakeside this evening, Jerry Sharp Field inside Chris Hunter Stadium, as we get you ready for Darlington football right here on WLAQ AM 1410, 96.9 FM. Also, our live stream at the WLAQ1410.com website, audio only. And then also, we're going to be live tonight on the Darlington School YouTube channel. They'll be along with us coming up in about 10 seconds right at the top of the hour at 7 o'clock, which we are reaching just about now. So again, we're just super glad to have you with us as we are live again at the lakeside Jerry Sharp Field inside Chris Hunter Stadium. I'm Matt Davis, along with me Ian Griffin this evening, and the Darlington Tigers come into their first home game of the year. Glad to be back at home. Talked to Coach Atha earlier this week, and they're fired up about getting the first opportunity this year to play in front of the home crowd. And Ian, they do so boasting a 2-0 record, a great start to the season.
Yeah, they sure do. An unconventional start, at least by modern standards. Darlington's taken a lot of long road trips in the past, but it's been a while. Starting down in Orlando and getting a bit in there, that had to be a cool experience for the players, and then making the short drive, passing Buc-ee's twice on the way to Sonoraville.
You don't pass Buc-ee's twice, you stop both
twice.
times.
That's right.
What you do.
That's right. They need to hire you for their marketing director job, Matt. I think you could elevate what they're already doing so well. But let's talk about what the Tigers have been doing well, and that's running the football and playing really strong at the point of attack on both lines of scrimmage. They did so, jumping out to a 28-0 lead in their first game last week. About as good a start as you could ask for. 21-0 in the first quarter against Sonoraville. So they've started fast, they've won the turnover battle, and they're running the rock, led by D-Man
Floyd. Yeah, he rushed for 223 yards, 3 touchdowns rushing on 22 carries. He also had another one that he caught on a touchdown pass. One of the things that stood out last week, other than the fact that obviously, as we knew going in, we talked about a lot in the pregame, that offensive and defensive front for the Darlington Tigers was going to be very powerful and a big part of their success in games this year, was how comfortable Jack Good looked handling the football in the game. He was 9 of 15 passing for 137 yards, and the main thing with him is he just looked very comfortable out there, and I think that has a lot to do with the reps that he got in the previous few seasons leading up to this year as the job became his as the starting quarterback of the Darlington Tigers.
Yeah. Coach Atha always does a good job of that. If he can get his young players experience, he will take that opportunity 9 times out of 10. And I was actually kind of surprised how long Jack stayed in the game this week, but obviously he needed to get some more reps. He made the most of them. He made some great passes last week. He didn't have to run the ball too much because they weren't stopping Floyd or Bowden Owens or Eli Thompson. They weren't stopping anybody when they were handing the ball off for the most part. He had a couple of good runs, but he was very poised. I think you nailed it. Like, he did not look panicked in any situation. That's about the preparation that he's put in. Well,
folks, we've got about 27 minutes and some change before we get to the kickoff of this game. We've got a whole lot to cover in our pregame. This is a really interesting matchup tonight here for Game 3. Darlington Tigers 2-0 facing Christian Heritage Lions 1-1. Now playing in different regions, which is a new look for this season. Obviously, we've talked a lot about Darlington's region, 7A Division I, and Christian Heritage, they are in 7A Division II, which is a really kind of an interesting region when you look under the hood. And we're going to talk about that more in detail in just a little bit, because there's some details about that region I think that you're going to find very interesting, which we'll get into a little bit later. But when you look at the series history between these two teams, Darlington leads the series 8-1, but looking at the record alone is very deceptive in terms of what kind of series you've had over the last 4 games, because the last 4 meetings between these two teams, including last year, which by the way was a 28-24 win for the Tigers right here at Chris Hunter Stadium, well, the last 4 games have been decided by a score. And so this has just been a real heated battle, and obviously, as you mentioned, once this game's over, there's going to be no love lost between these two teams. Let's call it what it is. These two teams just don't like each other.
No, I mean, they've gone toe-to-toe, battling it out for region championships now for a few years, and this may be a non-region game. This may not affect the playoff chase for these teams, but I expect a playoff atmosphere tonight, and you talk to the parents and the fans around here, they're expecting the same thing. Owen Gamage stopped by the booth earlier. He said, we got to have a team victory tonight. I want cupcakes for everybody.
That's right. And speaking of which, at the end of the night, we will have the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. Last week, it was an easy choice, although a lot of guys contributed to that win. Big-time numbers for Demarion Floyd, had just an unbelievable game, so he was the winner of our Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. But who knows? Maybe going to be somebody different stepping up tonight and coming up with a big game and helping the Tigers to hopefully a win tonight.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. He made it really easy for us last week, but there's tons of guys out here that can have that kind of game-changing performance, so it's going to be fun to watch it unfold.
And before we take our first break and get you ready to hear from Coach Atha coming up in our next segment, we just before we went on the air that we're going to launch a new segment. This will come up at halftime. We'll give you a little preview of that. But I've adopted a saying that Ian has been saying a lot here recently over the past couple of years, and it's kind of caught on with me. And it's talking about a team when they're kind of struggling, needing to win a game, and they need to get off the schneid. And so I get what that means in terms of talking about it by football, but I wanted to know, should I know what the definition of a schneid is before I start saying it on the radio? And so we looked it up, and we're clear. We can say it. The FCC won't have a problem. I'm pretty sure the school won't have a problem with it either. But we're going to go over that at halftime and tell you what getting off the schneid means, what schneid means, and what the origins are in a new segment that we have for you at halftime.
We're lifting up the hood.
That's right.
On getting off the schneid.
Yes, we're going to lift up the veil, so to speak. The curtain will rise, and you will know. Well, I tell you what, we're going to take a break. We're going to step out for 3.5 minutes. We're going to step out for 3.5 minutes down the line. When we come back, we're going to hear from the head coach, Tommy Atha, ahead of tonight's matchup, and we look forward to sharing that conversation with you that happened earlier in the week. When we come back right here on WLAQ and the Darlington School YouTube channel, we'll be back in 3.5 minutes. All right, folks, we're back with the head coach of the Darlington Tigers, Tommy Atha. We're getting ready for Week 3, but let's talk about Week 2 just a little bit because you guys went up to Sonoraville in Gordon County and, man, had a great game. We're up 21-0 to start the game. 45-22 is your final score over Sonoraville. They battled back, showed a lot of resolve, but you guys always seem to have an answer. So what were your biggest takeaways from last week's win?
Well, number one, getting off to a fast start was incredible. Being able to jump out to a lead because, we knew their depth was going to be an issue. They've just got so much more depth than we have, and the resilience that our kids showed. We had some, and we started cramping in spots towards the end of the first quarter, and sort of that next man up mentality. Some guys got thrust into some serious game situations that hadn't been before, and some guys rallied back, and so I was tremendously proud of how we responded, considering the difference in the depth on both sides.
Well, looking back at game 2, you guys didn't turn the ball over. There weren't a lot of penalties, all those sorts of things that I know as a head coach would drive you crazy if those things were going on. So that also had to make you feel pretty good about last week.
Yeah, it really did. When you can keep from turning the ball over, because that's important against good football teams, and play relatively, I won't say penalty-free, but not too many penalties. We had a few we didn't like, but overall, considering at this point in the season, I thought our execution was really good on both sides. I thought we tackled well. I've said it. I said it before, and I'll stand by it. I think this is the best Norville football team that we've seen since I've been coaching here, and I think they're going to win a lot of football games. So I thought it was a really good win for us.
Well, Coach, I'm going to talk about our honeymoon bakery icing on the cake player of the game here in a minute. There's no mystery there who it was, but I want to talk about the big guys up front before we do that, because I'm sure the young man that won our prize last week gave those guys a lot of credit because the push up front was excellent.
Yeah, I was tremendously proud of our offensive line, and we had some new guys step in, but I thought we did a really good job of blocking who we were supposed to block, staying fitted on the blocks we were supposed to make. The guy you're talking about, I'm sure, doesn't need anything but a crack. So, if we can maintain those blocks, he always has a chance to go.
Talk about a breakout game. I know a lot of people are aware of his talent, but what a game for Demarion Floyd. 200-plus yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, big plays, caught a touchdown pass. He did a little bit of everything. He had an excellent game. He was our player of the game.
We've always known that Demarion is tremendously explosive. He's got great acceleration, great vision. I think the thing that stood out to me more than just that was his physicality with the football. To me, the best touchdown run of the night was the one from the 1-yard line where he ran through the defenders and stayed on his feet. I thought he did a really nice job blocking, did a really nice job catching the football. We stay on him all the time about the most important. The most important back is the one that doesn't have the ball in his hands, and what do you do when you don't have it? And so, he did a really obvious great job with it in his hands, but he did a really nice job without the ball as well.
I don't remember. It might have been Coach Paul Johnson used to say, if you block, you get the rock.
That's the way it works. We've talked about that. The harder you work, the more you show what you can do in practice without the football, the more opportunities you get to touch the football.
Let's talk unsung heroes. You kind of alluded to that as we started our conversation, and I was talking to one of your former assistants a couple of weeks ago, and I asked him, what makes the Tommy Atha and his coaching staff, coach team, so successful year in, year out? And without hesitation, the first thing he said was, from day one, whether it's your star players on down to the guys that are kind of role players and whatnot, guys that don't see the field a whole lot, guys that help out in practice and all those kind of things, everybody has a significant role from day one. So what does it make you feel like to hear one of your former assistants make that comment?
It is rewarding for me to hear that, because that is one of the things that we do talk about. It's a big part of our program. One of the things we say consistently to every player is you have value. Every single player on our football team adds value to the team. And it's not always the same. Everybody's value is different. But everybody's value is just as important. And whether you're in, preparing the team during the week, whether it's special teams, defense, offense, whether you touch the ball or never touch the ball, our challenge to them is bring your value every day. And that's our charge to the players. If you will bring your value every day and add it to the practice, then our football team gets better as a result. And that's kind of been our philosophy for quite some time now.
One of the changes with this team, as opposed to the last couple of years, is a quarterback change. However, Jack Good, he had some snaps, had some experience coming into the game, so he looked really ready for the moment last week, really managed the game well. He looked very comfortable, which is really good at this point of the season.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Going back to the North Murray scrimmage in the spring, I thought that was a defining moment for Jack. I thought he really took a step forward with poise and decision making, and I think he's had a great summer. And I think it showed up Friday night, and we need that out of him every single week.
Coach, I want to talk about this week's opponent, and I know this year we've talked a lot about the region change, but I know fans are really glad that this one remains on the schedule even though you're not in the same region anymore, because it's really become a rivalry. I know the record, obviously you guys are, I think, 7-1 against them, maybe 8-1. Should have written that down. But the last 4 contests between you and Christian Heritage has been decided by score, and there have been some really good football games played out of those 4. So this should really be a fun game tonight.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any question. They've done a nice job up there. They've really established that program as a successful program, and they're very well coached. Their kids play tremendously hard. Even though it's not a region game, it's another one of those games where we know we're going to get their very best game. We always do. And, the challenge for us is to rise to the occasion and give them our very best game as well.
Well, Coach, I know at the end of the day you guys want to win the football game, but what are the key things that you want to see from your team tonight in Game 3 as you get closer and closer to the start of region play to feel like you guys are on track to be what you want to be this year?
Well, conditioning, obviously, we want to continue to get in even better condition. I do feel like we were a little bit behind in that regard, in that, we had the one scrimmage against Callaway and really the game against Schuylkill down in Orlando. Our starters really only got to play a half of football, so playing that, the number of snaps that we had to play last week was tremendously beneficial. So we want to see our conditioning continue to improve. Again, we want to continue to protect the football. Defensively, they've got some very explosive players, so we're going to have to tackle really well. They do a really good job in the passing game and screen game, so secondary-wise, we're really going to have to be on our toes. So we got a big challenge, but, we just want to continue to improve, week in, week out. I've always said you want to be a much better team in November than you are in August and September.
Well, Coach, it's September. It's hard to believe it, but week 3, and we're looking forward to it. You guys are getting ready to take on Christian Heritage tonight. Going to be back by the lakeside. I do want to ask you one more question, and then we'll wrap up. It's great to be back home, isn't it?
There ain't no doubt. Our kids love to play here at the lakeside, and it's like we always say, they nothing like a Tiger on Friday night.
Well, Coach, as always, thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely, Matt. Always a pleasure.
That puts a wrap on our conversation with Coach Atha. We're going to step out for a few minutes. When we come back, we'll continue to set the stage as it's almost time for Toe to Meet Leather. Darlington football tonight by the lakeside. We're glad to have you with us. Darlington Christian Heritage coming up in just a little bit. Stick around.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet Buick GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside Buick GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
My name is Ryan Somerville. I am the sales manager for Business Water Solutions. We do water purification coolers as well as ice machines for any size business. We're on campus right now at Darlington School. Super happy to be here. They're one of our biggest customers. I myself played sports here. Our two founders played sports here. It was absolutely our pleasure to be a sponsor for Darlington Athletics. I think one thing that really sets us apart is our water purification. There's 13 stages. The reverse osmosis part of it has been a huge part of our success, along with our 24-hour guarantee for service calls. So when a customer does call us, we're then guaranteed within 24 hours. We were able to provide a touchless water system to make it more COVID-friendly in terms of germs and touching the water system. One thing I always say is we're not selling a product, we're selling our service. That's what we really push for every single day, is to have a customer service experience like they've never had before.
They are super knowledgeable about the market in Rome, whether it's home buying, rental homes. They have their finger on the pulse of what's going on.
We both sold a house and bought a house, and the transition from both went really smoothly for us.
I feel like they've become almost a part of our family, so we're just really appreciative of Hardy and what they've done for us.
All their team put together, from maintenance to management to sales, I can't really say enough about them. I'd highly recommend them to anybody coming to town or living in Rome looking for investment properties or homes to buy.
I'd like to wish the Darlington football team a great season. Go Tigers!
Go Tigers!
Darlington Football would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of this year's live stream: Business Water Solutions, Coosa Steel, Hardy Realty, Riverside Auto Group, and Atrium Health Floyd. Thank you for your support. This broadcast is a production of Northwest Georgia Media. Thank you for watching.
And one thing that did is it kept the starters in the game for Darlington. And I'm all for getting the younger guys experience, but it's also good to get your starters those reps. And they played deep into the game. Jack Good threw a touchdown pass to Jack Cowan late in the game too, getting some of these guys in there that had an opportunity to play with the ones. I thought that was important. So Darlington's just building this thing. Now they've got a really tough game on their hands because this is a rivalry. It really is. I know you pointed out that the series record may be heavily on Darlington's side, but this is going to be a hard-hitting affair.
And again, when we pointed that out, we're always very quick to point out also that the last 4 games have been decided by a score. And, of course, last year Darlington won, but it was a 4-point game, went down to the last couple of series of the game, and we could see more of that tonight. Let's talk a little bit about Christian Heritage. They come in 1-1. Some faces we won't see this year. Solomon Locke, he is gone. We talked about him a lot the last couple of years. Christian Thomas, their quarterback, he graduated. A couple of years ago, Gage Leonard, he would transfer over to Calhoun. He's since graduated. So those are some names that we got used to seeing, and those guys aren't here anymore. That doesn't mean this team is not as good as it used to be, but I don't think they have quite as many playmakers emerging right now as they did. But one guy you absolutely have to take a look at, and you will, is Eli Thomason. He had 247 yards from scrimmage, 177 rushing, 70 receiving, and 3 touchdowns, and he also made 14 tackles. This is from the Georgia High School Football Daily, by the way, in their 21-7 victory over Temple. Now, he's not their only playmaker. playmaker, but he is definitely the guy on this team that you got to slow down. You cannot let this guy get out in space and get a head full of steam, or he'll make you pay.
Well, you've got to think that'll be the focus of the Darlington defense. They did a good job shutting down the run last week. Now, Sonoraville's a pass-heavy squad, but they tried to run the ball on this Darlington defense. Just didn't have any success unless they were using misdirection draw from the quarterback, Jackson Pate. He had some decent runs. So you got to think they're going to lock it down. Jake Lowenberg will be back there. Joel Lowenberg will be back there ready to clean up behind Gus Gamage and all those guys up front. So I really think they're going to key on shutting down the running game and see if they can force them to throw the football, because that's not the strength of this Christian Heritage team.
And Ian, in our first segment tonight, I mentioned to you we talk about the region breakdown that Christian Heritage has now, being in 7A Division II, which Darlington, as we mentioned earlier, 7A Division I. Well, here's the interesting thing about that region. It's subdivided, has 14 schools. However, there are only 3 of those schools that play football at this level, and that would be Christian Heritage, Bowden, and Mount Zion Carroll. So they're playing in a region in which there are only 3 football schools, if I looked at that correctly. So that's really an unusual situation. Exactly, and that's what I was kind of going to allude to. And so I think it is one of those situations, unless I'm reading that situation entirely wrong, which is totally possible, but I believe that would be the case. So that's kind of interesting when you have that happen.
Yeah,
I don't know how it does.
Yeah, so you could have a winless team get into the playoffs.
It's potential for
that.
That's
crazy. That's crazy. Now, I wouldn't expect that. Bowden's a proud program. So is Christian Heritage. Who else was in that region?
The other team is Mount Zion Carroll, which they from time to time have a good football team as well. So anyway, head coach for the Christian Heritage Lions, Jay Pogue, 7 seasons. This is his 7th season. He's 33 and 32, a region title that was in 2020. They made the playoffs the last 4 seasons under his tutelage. He took over for his brother, Preston Pogue, another familiar name in terms of high school football around the state. He is the head coach at North Murray, where he's been since 2016 when he left the program here. So
he's done good things there, too.
He's done great things. So obviously coaching and football is certainly in the family. Well, we've got 2.5 minutes before the kickoff of this game. We've got the captains coming out on the field. Let's take a 2-minute break. We'll come back and give you the results of the toss and the names of the captains, and we'll get you ready for Toe to Meet Leather. A 2-minute break. We'll be back on WLAQ and the Darlington School YouTube channel. Well, the Darlington Tigers, as we come out of the break, make their grand entrance and take a knee around Coach Atha. It is almost go time here from Jerry Sharp Field inside Chris Hunter Stadium. Matt Davis and Ian Griffin with you tonight to bring the call of the game. And Ian, we've had the toss. Darlington won. They have deferred to the second half, so they want to get out their defense on the field and set the tone that way.
No doubt about it. Last week they had the opposite situation with Sonoraville winning and deferring, so they'll let their defense set the tone. And you saw the team. Usually they follow out Gallon Hancock. Guess who was toting the flag tonight? It was the Gus bus.
Oh, was
Gus
it really?
Gamage with the stars and stripes in his hand coming out of the Tiger. So they're fired up and ready to go, man.
Well, let me tell you, when the bus depot opens in and the Gus bus comes out, he's taking everybody with him.
No doubt about it. He has had a heck of a start to the season, and he'll be fun to watch tonight. I'm telling you, Darlington up front on both sides of the ball is impressive.
Here are your captains for tonight for Christian Heritage: Camp Carpenter, also Wyatt Brumlow, Eli Thomason, and Daniel Guile. For the Darlington Tigers, they were Eli Thompson, also Timmy Smith, Gatlin Hancock, and Gus Gamage, and we are ready to go. We hope you are. We're excited to bring this game to you tonight on WLAQ and also the Darlington YouTube channel. We're going to have a couple of men back deep here for the Christian Heritage Lions as we get ready to go. It looks like we're going to see Tommy Bethel tee it up, and as we talked about a lot in the broadcast last week, Ian, he's got quite a boot. This one could be going out of the back of the end zone potentially.
Oh, absolutely. If they're going to kick it deep, he's the guy who lines up to do it. Ron Scott has done really well with that high pooch kick around the 25, but this time I think they want to put it out of the back of the end zone, so Bethel will take a swing.
Darlington's in their white breeches, purple jerseys, white letters and numbers, and we're underway. Toe meets leather. That's going to be a line drive, drops back, rolls towards, and barely escapes going into the end zone and dropped at the 3-yard line as he tries to return, and not good field position at all for Christian Heritage.
Not at all. That kick had kind of a backspin to it, and when it hit at the 10, the return man thought the momentum would carry it into the end zone, and it had a little English on it, as we like to say, Matt. And Darlington's coverage has been excellent all season. They got down there and made the stop, and Christian Heritage will start their first drive just outside the shadow of their own goal line at the 4-yard line.
So the Christian Heritage Lions will line up. We talked about Eli Thomason. One of their goals is to line him up all over the field and get him the ball, try to get him in space. Their quarterback is Carter Triplett. He is a sophomore, big kid, and he's 6'4", 220. He's certainly got the body size.
No doubt about it. If he's got speed to go with that size, we may have another player to watch that I wasn't aware of.
So they will line up, and they're going to have to get themselves out of jail first to try to get this drive going. So they're starting, again, right at the 4-yard line on their side of the field, backed up against their own goal line.
Something's trotting off the sideline, maybe an equipment issue?
Perhaps so. We'll get a check on that and hopefully get underway here in just a couple of moments.
He had to leave the field, so there must have been some kind of equipment issue there. They have not started the play clock, so that's something the officials noticed, and they'll get corrected. So they're trotting somebody else out.
Well, let's see if we can catch his number. I was prepared for Carter Triplett, but we got a different quarterback, and he has not turned where I can catch his number. But they take the shotgun. They're going to run it right, and there's nothing there except for a wall of Darlington Tigers, Ian. I
think it's Sawyer Corn that has come into the game, Matt, and he's going to trot right back off because here comes Carpenter.
All right, so Carpenter back out on the field, and he's got some work to do because this is going to bring up 2nd and 10 after no gain on that first down play here for the Christian Heritage Lions. They are in their all-white uniforms with gold letters and numbers with black trim and black helmets, by the way. They're working from right to left on your radio dial, getting ready for this second down play with 11:23 and counting here in the first quarter. It's first possession of the football game, and again, no gain there on first down as they try to run and get some space from the goal line. They're going to run a little end-around play off to the right side, and nothing there either.
No, so far there has been nothing to gain for the Lions as they've taken 2 cracks at it, and Darlington's defense has been there to greet them at the line of scrimmage.
That'll bring up 3rd down and 10 here for the Christian Heritage Lions. They have got the ball still at the 4-yard line. And so if Darlington can force a 3-and-out right here and force Christian Heritage to punt, Darlington's going to have excellent field position.
And we haven't seen them attempt a pass yet. I guess we will get to see potentially what kind of arm strength Carter Triplett has. You don't want to get too tricky down here right around your own goal line, so I wouldn't be surprised if they keep it fairly conservative, go with a screen or a draw just to get a little room to punt.
So now we'll have Carter Triplett line up in a shotgun, standing a couple of feet into the end zone. Wide snap. He's going to roll out to his left. He's got company, puts the ball in the air. Pretty decent ball. It's up for grabs, and it's going to be incomplete. Thrown to wide receiver Wyatt Brumlow, and that is going to set up a 3-and-out, and Christian Heritage is going to have to punt out of their own end zone.
Yeah, and, Triplett has good arm strength there. Rolled out, got set, and threw a deep ball about 40 yards, but Talon Shirey was on the coverage there. He high-pointed the ball, was there to make the play, gets credit for the pass breakup, and Christian Heritage will have to punt out of the back of their own end zone.
So 10:35 left here in the first quarter of the football game. And again, Christian Heritage goes 3-and-out. As you mentioned, they'll punt. It looks like Jalen Gay will handle the punting duties, and he's standing right at the back of the edge of the end zone. There's the kick. Pretty good kick. It'll drop in. Talon Shirey fields it at around the 37. He's got room. He runs towards the middle of the field to the 10. 5 stays up, keeps those legs going. He's down to the 3-yard line. Great punt return by Talon Shirey, setting up shop for the Darlington Tigers on the 3.
Absolutely. Talon Shirey had some great returns last year. That wasn't a bad punt. It didn't have a lot of hang time, so it was returnable. The first 2 guys missed. Almost took that one to the house, and things are going Darlington's way early once again for the 3rd straight week. They are poised to take an early lead.
So the Tigers offense trots out onto the field with a golden opportunity to come up with some points pretty quickly here in this football game. They're going to set up shop here on the 3-yard line with 1st and goal. Don't get to say that often, do you?
Oh, not on your first play from scrimmage.
So the Tigers will line up. Of course, Jack Good, the quarterback, starting quarterback for the Tigers this year. In the backfield with him is Bowden Owens. And they'll hand it off to Owens. Muscles through the line, tries to stay up, and he stood up and brought down. I don't believe he got very much ground there.
No, good defense there by Christian Heritage. Backs against the wall to start the game. They went with a power run right up the middle, and they stuffed Owens on that carry. But here comes Demarion Floyd, who found Pater 4 times last week against Sonoraville.
So the Tigers make several substitutions before they snap the ball here in on 2nd down and goal from the 3-yard line after the first play was stood up by the Christian Heritage defense. And it looks like
the officials have a lot to get sorted out here. This is the 3rd time they've stopped the game. They're explaining something to Coach Atha.
We're glad you're with us tonight on WLAQ and also the Darlington School live stream on their YouTube channel. Always a pleasure to have the opportunity to call these games, and especially when we get the opportunity to be by the lakeside here at Chris Hunter Stadium.
Got a cute little Darlington fan right out in front of the press box here who's giving us the googly eyes. Student section's packed tonight, and I hope you like the smell of baby powder.
Oh, man.
Because it's wafting through the windows here.
That's one of my buddy's moms right there that I went to high school with, and his sister, and that's her baby.
She's a cutie.
Matt Kearse, you know him.
Yeah.
That's his mom right there.
Sweet.
Yep.
So I think the officials have sorted this out. It's going to be 2nd down and goal from the 3.
Well, it's early in the season for them, too.
It is. We've all got to knock the rust off.
So this is 2nd down and goal from the 3. 9:39 left here in the first quarter. Darlington with their first possession of the football, working from left to right. Jack Good getting ready to take the snap. He hands it off to Demarion Floyd. Muscles through, 3-yard touchdown run. He does it again. That is touchdown number 5 of the season for Demarion Floyd. And there goes the aforementioned powder that you taled about in the student section.
It's a whiteout in the student section. They've got their milk jugs. They've got their baby powder. And I can smell it, Matt.
Ooh.
I'm going to start sneezing here in a minute. Yeah, that's going to be a trend tonight. We're all going to leave here with smoother skin, perhaps. Who knows? But Darlington off to a fast start. 2 plays, and they're in the end zone. They didn't have to go far. They had 4 yards to get to Pater. Demarion Floyd got the last 3. Bowden Owens picked up the other, and Rylan Scott's on to attempt the extra point.
Sammy Konchesky is out for the hold, and we get ready for the kick. Here's Rylan Scott, and guess what? It is through, and it's 7-0 to start the game. Darlington got the ball on the 3-yard line after a big punt return from Talon Shirey setting up a goal line stand to start the game, and the Darlington Tigers were able to hit on a 3-yard touchdown run from Floyd and score, and they lead 7-0 with 9:26 left to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, nice start. If you're a Darlington fan, you've got to love this. So they're up 7-0. And I don't believe they've been scored on in the first half. Well, no. Snorville got 2 touchdowns on them in the second quarter, but not in the first quarter. So they are really seizing momentum early so far in this 2022 season.
Well, one of the things that we didn't get to in our pregame, we had a lot of stuff going on, was our keys to the game. One of them is don't allow this to become the Eli Thomason show like happened last week at Temple. Maintain composure in a rivalry game. That's always important. And then obviously the battle of the trenches, which you could say every single week.
And continue to win that turnover battle.
That's right.
I mean, Darlington has just been excellent in that category for as long as you and I have been sitting in this booth.
And that's the thing about Darlington coach football team. They pay attention to the fundamentals and the details that help you win football games. So the Tigers have got it teed up, ready to kick it away. Tommy Bethel puts the boot on it, and this one looks like it's going to sail towards the end zone and drop right in. That's going to be a touchback. And they brought out to the 20-yard line, and that's where the Christian Heritage Lions are going to set up for their second possession.
End over end kick hit about the 5-yard line and bolted through the end zone. So better field position for Christian Heritage on this drive as the ball will be placed at the 20.
Got a lot of sports coming up for you on WLAQ throughout the weekend. We'll get you back to the Marlins and Braves series coming up tomorrow. We'll have a game for you tomorrow, and then on Sunday. Braves are off on Monday, which means we're going to have Georgia Tech football as they get ready to take on the Clemson Tigers. And, man.
What a way to open the season.
I may be going to bed early coming up on Monday.
Our buddy Alex Fair is giving me reason to be hopeful, though.
Carter Triplett takes the snap, and they're going to hand it off, go right up the middle. There's nothing there.
No,
again,
sir.
A wall of Tigers, Ian.
Yeah, they are going to stack the box and make them beat them through the air. There's no question about it. I just don't think that Eli Thomason's going to find much running room tonight against this front seven of the Darlington Tigers.
And anytime you can do that, Ian, as you alluded to, make a team one-dimensional, you're setting yourself up for success. And so far, that's exactly, as you pointed out, what the Tigers have done. They're going to send 2 wide receivers to the far side. Everybody else is in tight. Triplett takes a snap. He drops back. He's got company, and he is going to be sacked by a couple of Darlington Tigers, led by number 42. That's Logan Floyd. And also in there was the starting quarterback, Jack Good.
Yeah, and last year, Jack was just a terror off the edge. He didn't play. I didn't see him get in on defense till the second half last week. He's out there early and already making an impact, so I'd give each of those guys half a sack on that play. They tried to go play action, but before he could even look downfield, Floyd and Good were all over him.
So they'll go back to the drawing board, and after that sack, they've got a lot of ground to gain here on third down. This brings up 3rd down and 20. With the ball now dropped back to the Christian Heritage 10. They're working from right to left, but right now they're actually moving in the wrong direction. There's the snap to Triplett, a little bit wide. He pulls it in, drops back a couple of steps. He's got company again, is going to have to tuck it, and he gets pushed out of bounds. And that is going to be another tough play there for Christian Heritage. They cannot get any offense going at all.
No, they can't. They're rolling him out just to give him a little extra time, Matt. And that time the coverage was just great downfield. He couldn't find a receiver, and then he tried to just ditch it out of bounds, which was smart to avoid losing more yardage. But he was right near the boundary, and Lowenberg and Good came crashing in. He took a good shot, a legal shot there on the sidelines. But that's dangerous if you're the Christian Heritage coach. You're wanting him to get down, stay healthy.
So for the second drive in a row to start the game, Christian Heritage goes 3 and out, not getting any offense going. To boot it out of the end zone is going to be Jalen Gay. He takes the snap, pulls it down, kicks it from around the goal line, and this one's going to go out of bounds. So Darlington again is going to have good field position.
Yes, they are. I mean,
not as good as last time.
But still, you've started both your possessions, in enemy territory. That one hit at the 49, but it crossed the boundary, marked at the 41. So that's where Darlington will take over for drive number 2. And thus far, it's been an impressive effort by this Darlington defense. And we'll see what the offense can do with a little more real estate in front of them.
Well, we got a long way to go, but so far this game does feel like this matchup has felt the last 4 years, but we're not even halfway through the first quarter. Darlington leads at 7-0. They've got the ball, as you say, at the 41-yard line to start their second drive of the football game. Jack Good comes back out on the field after a conference over with the coaching staff, and he'll bring his team right back to the line of scrimmage. Going to send 2 wide to the near side, a couple to the far side. In the backfield with Jack Good is going to be Demarion Floyd, figuring out which side he's going to flank him. He's going to be off to his right now and a couple of steps behind him. He fakes the handoff to Floyd. He drops back looking to throw. He's going to tuck and run. Look at the legs of Jack Good. He's able to get a first down, and they haul him out of bounds. But that's one thing we've seen flashes of the last couple of games that's real promising for the Tigers, is watching Jack Good be able to run the football when they need him to.
Yeah, they wanted to take a shot downfield, and it wasn't there, but Jack didn't waste any time making a decision. When he saw it wasn't there and he had open space in front of him, he pulled down and ran. You like to see that decisiveness from a new starting quarterback, and he's only 3 games into his tenure under center, so that's impressive.
So they're going to line up in a pistol. You've got Demarion Floyd in the backfield, a couple wide receivers on each side, one in the slot. First down for the Tigers. They've got the ball now at the 29-yard line in Christian Heritage, trying to advance the ball down closer to the goal line. There's the snap. Going to hand it off. Cutting back to the near side. Demarion Floyd. He finds some room. He's inside the 20, and he's going to be hauled out of bounds around the 16. So another good pickup here for the Darlington Tigers.
You know, last year Floyd was given a lot of credit for his speed and elusiveness, but he threw a nice stiff arm there to spring that run for another Parker and Lundy first down. You know, last week we were listening to Doug Walker call the game, and he's like, he's deceptively fast, and that is a perfect description.
Oh, no doubt about it. So 2 plays, 2 first downs for the Tigers, and the chains keep moving, and the Tigers are now in the red zone. Pistol formation, they turn, hand off to Floyd, finds a little bit of a seam up the middle, keeps legs churning, gets inside the 10. That's one of the things that Coach Atha pointed out in our pregame interview. He's so proud of the way that he just keeps moving. You see the speed when he gets space, but he also, when he gets hit, he keeps going.
He's a different runner this year. He was great last year, but he has bulked up and is running really strong this season.
Another run.
Yeah, another carry and another Parker and Lundy first down for the Tigers.
So 3 first downs on this drive for the Tigers, and now they've got the ball right at the 6-yard line as they get ready for first and goal and trying to score again. They lead at 7-0. 6:54 remains here in our first quarter. Coming out back into the game is going to be Logan Floyd. Checking out is going to be McKay Rush, who's done a great job for the Tigers so far this season.
He was injured last year. Good to see him back on the field and contributing.
Pistol formation. Again, second and goal from the 6. Good takes the snap, pulls it down. A toss sweep over to Demarion Floyd, finds some room on the edge, and he's standing up as he trots into the end zone. A 6-yard touchdown run. Touchdown 2 of the game, 6 of the season for Demarion Floyd. Can you believe this?
I mean, you know, they weren't 54 and 64 yards like last week, but once again he scored the first 2 touchdowns of the game, and Demarion Floyd's having himself a season.
Unbelievable. 6:25 left to go here in the first quarter. Demarion Floyd's already notched 2 touchdowns in this game again. Well, I say 6 in the last 2 games. I don't remember how many scored in the first
He scored
game.
at least 1 in the first.
So a correction on that. I've been saying that wrong. I forgot about the first game because we weren't there. Rylan Scott's got it teed up, ready to go. He was, 7 for 7 last week and a 26-yard field goal. So he was perfect last game. Here comes the snap. Old kick is on the way, and it's right down Broadway, as they say. So extra point is good. It's 14-0, just like that, Ian.
And Matt, you know, to allude to our new segment at halftime, Rylan Scott is he's on the opposite of the Schneid. He hasn't missed an extra point all season.
He's the anti-Schneid.
Anti-Schneid, yes.
Whatever that means. Want to take an opportunity to thank our radio sponsors for making it possible for us to be here tonight and provide the audio for the radio and also the video stream. Honeymoon Bakery, love the icing on the cake for the game. We've probably been doing that for 10 or 12 seasons. I can't remember. Steve Conrad's watching at home. He could probably tell us better than me because he said that a lot over the years. But Atrium Health Floyd, also Riverside Auto Group, Avery Drugs, Georgia Northwestern Technical College, Harbin Clinic, Rome Orthopedic Center, sponsor of our scoreboard show after the game on the radio, and then Ware Mechanical. We couldn't be here without them. All right, Ian. Tigers are about to tee it up and send it back over to the Christian Heritage Lions here in just a couple of moments.
We'll see who's going to tee it up. Will it be Bethel or Scott? It is Bethel once again.
Last time he would send it into the end zone with an automatic touchback, so certainly could see that being the case here. Of course, the first drive of the game for Christian Heritage started at the 4-yard line, and they've gone 3 and out in their first 2 possessions. This is not the Christian Heritage, so far at least, that we've seen the last few seasons. So Tommy Bethel with it teed up and ready to go. And the Tigers are ready to kick it back off. He trots the ball, boots it, toe meets leather. That's end over end. That drops in at about the 3. It will be fielded and brought out. Up the middle of the field goes Wyatt Brumlow, goes out to the right. We got a flag on the field. He's running down the sidelines. He's forced out of bounds at the 38, but we got to see what the flag is. 2 flags.
Yeah, got 2 flags down. One is definitely going to be a hold or a block in the back, way back on the other side of the field. And then we may have another hold further down the field here. So there's probably 2 against Christian Heritage. We'll see which one Darlington decides to take. I'd imagine it'll be the one further back field.
In addition to our news segment at halftime, where we talk about the football term, today's word is schneid, getting off the schneid.
We're going to have to come up with other terms now, Matt. You've given us some more homework each week.
I know. And I'm going to have to try to keep a straight face as we say that. That's just such a funny word. But we're also going to talk about the announcement that was made today of the college football playoff expansion to 12 teams. Ian's going to give us some details on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Excited about that. I've been nervously excited about all the change in college football. And for that to go through today, I think it's going to save college football. It won't ever be like it was before, but we're going to keep the conference traditions, and some of the traditions will stay intact because of what happened today. So very excited about that. It was a legal block that Darlington accepted, and we'll see where they march the ball back, but it happened back around the 20-yard line. So I think once again Christian Heritage is going to be starting around their 10 or inside their own 10.
So the official will mark off the penalty yardage, and we'll figure out, as you mentioned, their fate in terms of where this drive is going to start. But things are just not going well for the Lions in this football game so far.
Not at all. That was the first penalty of the game, and a costly one. It was a good return. I really think the penalty was away from the ball. Oh, he signaled one towards Darlington there. Okay, so they're offsetting. They've marched that off. Half the distance to the goal one way. And we'll see where they set the ball.
Looks like they're going to put it right at the 25-yard line.
That makes sense. So 10, half the distance back, and then 15 yards marched off for the personal foul. Okay, so a better scenario than we thought for the Lions.
Yep. The Lions are going to start off at their own 25-yard line. So out of their 3 drives so far in this game, this is going to be their best field position so far. And they will line up in a shotgun formation triplet. Carter Triplett takes the snap. He takes a 5-step drop, dumps it out on a screen pass to Jalen Gay. Finds a little bit of space, but then here comes Gatlin Hancock to knock him down.
And great play by Slade Clevenger to get there first on that play, because that was a bang play. Good was in the backfield. They were letting him through, setting up the screen, and then the next lineman got pulled in a little bit too deep into the backfield as well. So Clevenger came in with great speed horizontally there to make the tackle. That was a great play.
So that'll bring up 2nd down and 9 here for the Christian Heritage Lions as they come back to the line of scrimmage after a 1-yard gain. Going to send 2 wide receivers to the far side. Carter Triplett's going to line up in a shotgun formation with 1 man flanked to his right. He'll drop back, looking to throw. He's got company. Jack Good chasing him in the backfield, and he is going to have to put the ball in the air. Goes out of bounds, incomplete. He just had to dump it.
Yeah, he's great coverage downfield here by this Darlington secondary. Let's go ahead and recognize that. But Jack Good has been unblockable so far. I don't think the linemen are having a tough time getting a hand on him. They're just trying to push him and push him off his directional path. Speed is just destroying this line on the edge.
Gatlin Hancock checks out of the game. Checking in is going to be Jack Chandler for the Darlington Tigers. The Christian Heritage Lions come back to the line of scrimmage with a 3rd down and 9, so they got a very tough spot here with 2 wide receivers to the far side. And we get ready for Triplett to take the snap. He's got it in his hands, rolls to his right, puts it in the air, and that is going to be incomplete, and it's going to force another 3 and out.
And I think that's just a case of him not being in rhythm, because the blocking was actually good. Darlington dropped into coverage that time. He had his man wide open. He just didn't set good on his drop back and fired that one low, and it's another 3 and out for the Lions, and Darlington will look to start with good field position again.
So we got 5:20 left to go here in the first quarter of the football game. Darlington Tigers leading at 14-0 at home. 2 touchdowns on the ground to Marion Floyd in this football game so far, adding to his already ridiculously high totals for this point of the season. There's the snap. Here comes the kick from Gay. It's going to be a spiraling kick, and a fair catch is signaled by Talon Shirey. He grabs it at the 35.
Yeah, nice kick there from Gay. He got good hang time on that one. Shirey did the right thing to signal for the fair catch, and Darlington will take over at their 36-yard line.
And the first time of the game here on the third drive that Darlington actually starts on their side of the field.
Which is weird, because last week they didn't snap it in Sonoraville territory until the second quarter, and they were already 21-0 So
we're seeing some strange trends this season.
Strange trends.
That's another segment. Strange. Oh my gosh, we're getting too silly. They're gonna fire us if we don't stop this.
Sports entertainment, though, right, man?
Except for we work cheap.
That's true. That's true.
All right. The Darlington Tigers back to the line of scrimmage, working from left to right on your radio dial, leading at 14-0. Sounds weird to say the way the game's gone, starting at their own 35, which normally you'd say is good field position. There's the snap, going to swing it out to the far side, gets it to Eli Thompson. He's got some room, stays up, grabs about 13 yards. We didn't talk about him a whole lot last week. I bet he's going to have a lot more going on in this game. We got a flag.
I didn't catch it, but the way it looked, that looked like 24 hit Braden Bell late. This should be 15 yards going against the Lions from the end of the run, which was a Parker the first down, by the way, on the quick out to Eli Thompson. And yes, that is exactly what we've got here, is a late hit on the Lions. Another costly penalty for them. They really can't afford to shoot themselves in the foot with the way this game has started.
So we're closing in on the 5-minute mark of this game. The Tigers on the move again, leading at 14-0. 5:05 left to go here in the first quarter, and the Tigers are marching down the field after the penalty yards are being marched off by the officials.
And they only took 1 snap in their territory, and they're right back knocking on the door. First train of the night, train number 1. That's what the scoreboard says.
And first train of the season. This is the first home game.
That's right.
So the Tigers at the line of scrimmage. They got 1st and 10 now from the Lions' 37-yard line, and they jumped. I believe we got a false start.
Yeah, a couple of guys moved on that one. Not in sync there. Darlington's second penalty of the night. That one will back them up 5 yards and put them behind the chains for the first time tonight.
And that was one of the things we talked about last week that we really didn't see a lot of from the Darlington Tigers in Game 2 were penalties. There were a couple that they didn't like, but overall, they played a pretty clean game in terms of penalties.
And as good as they were last year, they had some struggles with penalties, but they were really good at picking up 3rd and long last year too.
This brings up 1st and 15, by the way. Now the ball at the 42-yard line, still on the line side of the field. This will be a shotgun formation. Man goes in motion. That's Eli Thompson coming to the near side. Dropping back is good. A quick pass. It's on the way. Had a man open, Clevenger, but the ball kind of sails over him a bit as he was breaking open. That'll be incomplete.
Oh, Jack Good got his bell rung on that one, man. That was just a really, really hard hit. He stepped into that throw and it was a clean hit. That's football, but sometimes you just get your bell rung. He's kind of shaking the cobwebs off here as they set up for 2nd and 15.
Substitutions coming out of the field for the Tigers. Running out there is going to be Sammy Konchesky. Also, we're going to see Joel Lowenberg.
They're going to bring him off just to take a look at him. I mean, that was a heck of a collision.
So we're going to see Sammy Konchesky, the head football coach of the Berry College Vikings. Dad is his dad. He's going to get a snap here. Demarion Floyd in the backfield with him. Konchesky getting ready to take the snap, pulls it down, is going to hand it off. Floyd finds a little bit of room up front and gets maybe a yard or 2 before they pull him down.
Yeah, it's going to set up 3rd and long, and we'll see if they stick with Konchesky while they take a look at Jack Good over here on the sidelines. It looks like they will.
Konchesky, a sophomore this year, getting some reps here against Christian Heritage.
He had some good reps in the opener down in Orlando. Made a great play, extending the play, rolling out to his right and throwing a pass for, I think, 20, 28 yards, something like that. So he's got the ability. He's just not got the experience yet. So we'll see how much they trust him to throw the ball or if they go with something safe like a draw or screen.
Eli Thompson back out on the field. Sammy Konchesky is going to drop back. He's got some coverage. There's a pass, and he connects. He's able to connect with Talon Shirey, picks up a decent chunk of yards, and
honestly enough to consider going for it here on fourth down. You're outside of field goal range, but you're kind of in no man's land as well as your defense is playing. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Darlington Tigers decide to roll the dice and go for it, and it looks like they are.
Offense stays out on the field. Sammy Konchesky out at quarterback here for the Darlington Tigers, working from left to right. 4th down and 6 coming up with the ball on the Lions' 34-yard line. Darlington with a 14-0 lead with 3:14 left to go here in the first quarter. So things off to a hot start for the Tigers again here playing their first home game of the year. Pistol formation. Konchesky set to take the snap. Looks off to the sidelines. And they're going to call a timeout. Yep. So we are going to do the same. 3 minutes left to go first quarter. Darlington 14, Christian Heritage 0. 4th down and 6 coming up from the Lions. 34 for the Darlington Tigers when we come back in 30 seconds.
Here, I'm becoming who I want to be.
Here, I am looking toward my future.
Here, we learn from our failures so that we may soon succeed.
Here, we're passionate about learning and trying new things every day.
Here, we search for new perspectives and cultures so we can better understand the world.
Because at Darlington, we know we're in the most trusted hands.
As we discover new passions and learn more about ourselves through academics,
athletics,
fine arts,
and service to our community.
We welcome you back to the friendly confines of Chris Hunter Stadium. The Darlington Tigers playing on Jerry Sharp Field tonight at home, leading at 14-0. And we've got a 4th down and 7 coming up. Darlington Tigers with it on the Lions' 34-yard line. Let's see what they do here, Ian.
This is our moment, our time.
Graduates today, Darlington forever.
All right. Well, that's good news because he really did get hit hard. So glad to see they went through protocols and he's ready to go.
So here comes 4th down and 6. They will go for it as we predicted. There's a snap. He's going to drop back, play action, puts it in the air, connects with Talon Shirey, and he's going to grab the first down. The chains are moving. So the Darlington Tigers are going to have a fresh set of downs and moving it closer to the red zone.
And you want to be ready when your number is called. Sammy Konchesky came in and delivered a pass that provided the opportunity to go for it on 4th down. And the Tigers keep this drive alive. Heck of a pass there by Jack Good.
So a 4th down conversion for the Tigers, and the chains are moving. So are the Tigers down the field. 26-yard line, they'll line up with trips to the near side, one on the far side. Dropping back is Good. Swings it out towards Demarion Floyd, but it got away from him and went out of bounds incomplete.
And I tell you what, Christian Heritage has kind of changed their strategy. They are gunning. They are coming for the passer. When Darlington drops back to pass, they're bringing extra guys. They want to make Good uncomfortable back there and have done a decent job, at least on this possession, against the Tigers. They were primarily running the ball. This is the first time we've really seen them go to the passing game. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And I'm just looking out there, man. There are some dangerous playmakers out there for the Tigers. You've got Demarion Floyd, Eli Thompson. You've also got Talon Shirey. You've got Braden Bell as this package. Trebus is out there. This is a good package. Here comes the snap here to Good. He drops back looking to throw. He's got company. He passes the ball. He gets it into the hands of Bell. Connects, and it's another great play. Picked up, 7-8 yards?
Yeah, 7-8 yards. Makes that 3rd and very manageable. And Bell did a great job. That was a rocket by Good, and he went up and snagged that. It was high. He pulled it in and made a great catch.
That song that I keep hearing on my Spotify summer songs, Feeling Good, Like I Should. You know that song? That kind of comes to mind right now.
There's so many cheesy places we can go with this, Matt. I feel good.
Pun City, isn't it? Yeah. Pistol formation, there's a snap. Going to hand it off to Demarion Floyd. He gets pummeled by like 3 guys from Christian Heritage. He took a hard hit there.
He sure did. They were all over that play. Had good pulled. He probably would have been waltzing into the end zone, but the give was to Floyd, and he was stopped behind the line. That sets up 4th down and long. They may attempt a field goal. Looks like they're going to go for it again, though.
Up 14-0 with 1:30 left to go in the first quarter. It's been an eventful start to the game, no doubt about it, here for the Darlington Tigers, and it looks like they're going to bring Eli Thompson back in on the field. Talon Shirey trots back out there, and the Tigers will get ready to go to the line of scrimmage here, as you mentioned, with 4th down and about 7, and they're going to line up in a shotgun to Demarion Floyd. He's going to be flanked to the left of Good. Man goes in motion, and we've got a whistle and a flag, I believe. Yep.
Sure, and it's a delay of game.
Yep.
And that may push them out of field goal range. I think they could have attempted one where the ball was resting, but now you're pushing it into the 46-yard territory. So we'll see what the Tigers decide to do. Looks like they're going to punt.
Does it seem like it's too early to have a second train coming by? Because here's train number 2.
Sometimes they come in bunches, Matt. They are going to go for it.
4th down and 13. Here comes the snap to Good. He turns, fakes the handoff, going play action, going to roll to his right. He's got company, puts it in the air, and just out of reach of the intended receiver, Eli Thompson. That would have been a circus catch. He got his hand on it, but it was just a little bit out of his reach.
He sure did. Good put it in the only place he could if he wanted his receiver to have a chance, and Thompson almost pulled it in. Would have been a circus catch, absolutely. So the Tigers will turn it over on downs on their 3rd drive. Looks promising. Penalties got in the way a little bit on that one, and a much better effort. Christian Heritage mixed up their blitz packages there and gave the Tigers some problems getting into the backfield and really disrupting the flow of their plays. Got some scores for you, Matt. Carrollton up on Rome 13-6. Tuga up 7-6 on Temple. And Coosa, if this is not the wrong score, is up 19-zip on Gordon Central. So everybody's trying to prove us wrong this week.
There's the snap. High snap pulled down. It's going to be a handoff, and running the football is going to be number 34, Eli Thomason. He picks up maybe a yard or 2. Not a big gain there.
No, and so far Thompson, who has been Mr. Everything for the Lions through their first 2 games, has found it tough sledding against this Darlington defensive front.
So that actually is a little bit bigger of a gain than I thought it was going to be originally. It was 4 yards, so that sets up a 2nd down and 6, and that's actually one of their best plays that they've had this game. 2 wide receivers off to the far side. They're going to line up. Eli Thomason in the slot. Dropping back is going to be Triplett. He's got company. Hands in his face. They're going to dump a screen pass, and he's brought down immediately. Great defense from Darlington.
Yeah, Logan Floyd sniffed out that screen pass and shut it down. Loss of 6 on the play, or 8, so 3rd and 14, but that's going to be the last play of the first quarter, Matt. The clock's expiring.
All right, we're going to take a break. You're listening to WLAQ AM 1410, 96.9 FM, and also you may be watching on the Darlington School YouTube stream. However you're with us, we're glad you're with us. Darlington up 14-0 over Christian Heritage here at the Lakeside. We're going to step out for 1 minute. We'll be back for the second quarter after these messages.
At Darlington,
I love
we
seeing
find our confidence
those are our
discovering
pictures.
who
We see them all the time
in the classroom
we give them to the athletic departments.
Our creativity knows no bounds as we take risks,
explore opportunities,
and stretch our minds.
Together with our teachers,
we use what we've learned to create beauty,
to tell stories,
to inspire.
We discover new passions
while allowing existing ones to flourish.
We know that we can do anything,
be anything,
achieve anything.
We give our time to something greater than ourselves.
Whether we're sketching,
singing,
writing,
or acting, we find new ways to express ourselves
and share our talents with the world.
We know that our ideas and contributions matter,
and we take great pride in that.
Because today,
tomorrow, forever.
We're Darlington Tigers.
Good block. Gatlin Hancock in his face, puts the ball in the air. It's intercepted,
looked
but
good.
was he inbounds?
We're
Yes,
about to
he
find
was.
out. Yes,
Talon
indeed.
Shirey comes down with the interception on the far sidelines, and the Darlington Tigers yet again are winning the turnover battle, and they're going to have great field position, Ian.
Yeah, and they keep rolling out Carter Triplett where he's having to throw back across his body. That's a little confusing to me. That's a tough throw to make. And he had to throw back across his body on the boundary that time, and Darlington made a great play tipping the ball, and then Talon Shirey went up, made the play, got his foot in bounds, and the Tigers will start yet another drive in Lion territory.
So the first play of the second quarter is an interception thrown by Christian Heritage, and Talon Shirey comes up with a big defensive play, and the Tigers are back to the drawing board on offense, and they are leading this game already 14-0, and now they're going to start this drive on the Lions' 32-yard line. They're going to line up in a pistol. They've got Demarion Floyd behind Jack Good. Everybody else lined up in tight. There's the snap. Going to give it to, here's a trick play, Eli Thompson. Then he fires it back to Talon Shirey, who gets tripped up and gets dropped at the midfield point.
20-plus yard loss there. They went to the bag of tricks, and it backfired. Darlington had a great track record when it comes to the trick plays and them being very successful. But that time it didn't work out as planned, that's for sure.
No, they took the snap, and then they gave it off to Eli Thompson, who turned and gave it to Talon Shirey. He dropped back, but the defense was all over it. They weren't fooled by it one bit. So the Tigers have now got some work to do. It's going to be second down and 28 from the 50-yard line. They're dropped all the way back to midfield. Man goes in motion, a little pitch back to Demarion Floyd. He can get the big yards, and he gets out across to the 45-yard line, back in line territory, so he grabs 5 of those yards back.
He did get 5 back. He had a crease, and if you give that guy a crease, he can take a mile. So I thought for just a second he might pop that one, but it's going to be 3rd and 23 from the Lions' 45-yard line. This drive started down at the 33, so Darlington has gone backwards thus far.
So the Tigers at the 44-yard line will line up. Shotgun formation, Good takes the snap, drops back 3 steps, is going to dump it off to Floyd on the sidelines. He's pushed out of bounds, maybe got a couple of yards there, but not a lot doing.
So a disappointing possession there, as Darlington will likely punt this one. I think for 4th and 23 from the 45. You see if you can pin them deep, and defense keeps doing what it's doing.
And that's what they'll do as we see Tommy Bethel trot out into the field. And let's see if they can pin him back, as you mentioned, close to the goal line. We'll see. He's going to stand right at around the 40-yard line as he gets ready to take the snap. And here is the snap. He's got it. The kick is on the way. Looks pretty good. That's going to be end over end. Drops in. Nice bounce for Darlington. It's going to drop at about the 12-yard line.
Yeah.
So that was a good punt.
Yeah. Those end over ends, I thought looked like it was real close to the sideline, but when it hit it, it just came backwards about a yard instead of rolling towards the goal line. So once again, the Lions have a lot of real estate to cover if they want to get into a scoring position, and they have had no luck against this Darlington defense.
And it's kind of interesting because people that are watching the game and don't know the rosters very well may get confused, because you've got an Eli Thomason who plays for Christian Heritage, number 34, and you got Eli Thompson who plays for the Darlington Tigers. That's kind of something you got to keep up with on our end for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So 10:07 left to go here in the first quarter. Darlington leads at 14-0 at home. Christian Heritage is going to line up working from left to right on your radio dial. And Triplett in at quarterback, getting ready to take the snap. He's standing around there 6. He's going to turn, hand it off, gives it to Thomason, who is spun around by about 3 Tigers and brought down, maybe even took a loss on that play of about 2 yards.
Yeah,
make it about 5 or 6.
There's nowhere to go. This defensive front is absolutely dominating the offensive line for Christian Heritage. We talked about it up there to watch, and that this guy was most of their offense. Darlington has taken him away, and they're going to make Carter Triplett beat him, and right now it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do that, man.
And right now, Carter Triplett, as you just spoke of, is standing at the 1-yard line trying to get his team out of jail away from the goal line. There's the snap. He drops back with 2nd and 15 into their own end zone. He's in trouble, and
safety.
He is going to be sacked for a safety.
No, they're going to give him the 1-yard line, and we don't get a replay at the high school level. So he did kind of stick that ball out and reach it out, which is a risky proposition too against a ball-hogging defense. But they're going to mark it just outside of the goal line. And with the way things are going, this next play may end up being 2 points for the Tigers.
Oh, we'll be keeping an eye on that for sure. So this is going to be 3rd down here for Christian Heritage with the ball on the 1-yard line. They got to get 21 yards to get a first down here. But really, they're just trying to avoid disaster and have the score remain 14-0 after this disastrous drive so far. There's the snap. Quarterback's going to run the football, find some room, a nice seam for him, and he gets out to around the 10-yard line. So if you're Christian Heritage, that's definitely a positive right there.
And maybe that's something you build on here. Carter Triplett, 6'4" and 220. He can pick up a couple of yards if he just lays down. So maybe they'll go to the quarterback run a little bit more here. That one picked up enough yardage to get a punt off safely as Gay comes back out for his 5th punt of the night. 5 possessions, 5 3-and-outs for the Lions this evening.
That's right. And, and it's interesting because it feels like it should be like 40-0 by now in this football game in some ways because Darlington's dominated, but it's still a game that's within reach of Christian Heritage can have some good things happen. There's the snap, the kick. Obviously, they get it out to about the 38 after a short return from Talon Shirey.
Yeah, that was an end-over-end kick. Nice catch there by Talon Shirey, but great coverage from Camp Carpenter. He really was in position to make the tackle immediately. But great starting field position once again for Darlington Tigers. They've started 4 of their now 5 drives in Christian Heritage territory.
But again, I'll reiterate, it's one of those situations, as much as we've seen Darlington dominate this game, it really feels like they should have a bigger lead at this point than they do. They're kind of letting Christian Heritage hang around here.
They are. They've gotten in their own way a little bit. Credit to Christian Heritage defense. They really mixed things up on the drive before. That trick play really backfired, so Darlington's going to want to go out and execute cleanly on this possession.
Big drive here. Jack Good takes the snap, turns, hands it off to Bowden Owens. He's got some room to run and picks up a nice chunk of yards, about 5 or 6.
Yeah, nice carry there from Bowden Owens. And wouldn't be surprised to see if they just keep the rock on the ground on this drive.
I'm kind of with you on that. 7:25 remaining, the clock moving here in this first half. Not quite I'm not going to say it. We had a long first half last week.
Oh, my goodness.
A lot of passing there in that first half. And
it's only 8:17. I think we made it to 9 o'clock before the first half was over last week.
Shotgun formation, turns, hands it off, and on the run is going to be Bowden Owens. Gets a couple of nice blocks. A flag comes in. He stays up. He's coming down at the 24, but this is coming back.
I think they're going to get Joel Lowenberg on the hold there.
So we're under the 7-minute mark here of our second quarter of the football game. 14-0, Darlington leads it, but as Ian just mentioned, we've got flags all over the field, 3 of them, so we're going to get the officials' call in just a moment on that. So you're a little bit excited about the weekend, are you?
Just a little.
It's back.
Just
Ian.
a little. Did you watch those games last night?
I watched a good portion of them.
My goodness. Pitt and West Virginia, the backyard brawl was renewed for the first time in 11 years. Fantastic ball game. And I had it on. I had 2 screens up. The Penn State-Purdue game, another thriller. And we split those games. You picked Penn State and I picked Pitt. So we both won a game last night, but we are even with a difference in the Florida-Utah game, which I'm nervous about already.
You got extra rooting interest on that.
Sure. I mean, I picked an unranked team against a top 10 team because I love them.
3 wide receivers. There's the snap. 2 are on the right. He's heading that way. Jack Good with the ball, putting it in the air, and he's going to connect.
Yeah.
I'll check the number here when he gets up. I didn't see who it was, but he made a nice grab. Was it Eli Thompson?
It was Eli Thompson. It was.
What a great pass and catch.
Nice little comeback route there, a deep comeback route. Jack Good rolled out to his right, set his feet, and fired an absolute dart on 2nd and long to get them into 3rd and 1.
Ball's at the 30-yard line in Lions territory. Great play there by Jack Good, getting the ball out to Eli Thompson and setting an opportunity here to hopefully move the chains and keep the drive going.
And with the pressure that Christian Heritage has been bringing, a designed rollout was a really nice call.
Here's the snap on third down. Going to hand it off to Demarion Floyd to get a tough yard, and he does it. The chains should be moving here.
For a Parker and Lundy first down, Matt. Love to say that because that means the Tigers are on the move.
That's right. So the Tigers have got the ball now, threatening to get it into the red zone. They're going to have it at the 28-yard line with 1st and 10, 5:40, and the clock rolling here in this second quarter of football. I want to invite you to stay tuned after the game. It's the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. Last week, it was Demarion Floyd with 3 rushing touchdowns, caught a touchdown pass, 223 yards, just had a whale of a game. Who it will be this week, we don't know yet. There's the snap. Jack Good going to pull it down and hand it off. Gives it off to Jack Cowan, who is going to, or actually Tommy Bethel, I should say, who's going to be dropped after a short gain, it looks like.
Yeah, there was a flag there. I think we got a procedure penalty on Darlington. Somebody moved early. Legal shift. Darlington, that'll back them up 5 yards. So the penalty bug is biting the Tigers here recently. That is not a trend that Tommy Atha is going to want to see continue. They were able to overcome it on the last set of downs, but that'll be 1st and 15 after they march off the penalty yardage. Wait, interesting. Declined. All right, so it'll be 2nd down and 10 yards.
10.
Yeah.
2nd down and 10 here for the Tigers. 5:05 remaining on the clock here in the first half. Ball is on the 28-yard line, Tigers and Lions territory.
And where are the Bears?
I don't know. Where are they? Pistol formation. Man goes in motion. That's Tommy Bethel going from left to right. Flag comes in. Ball is on the way and is caught by Bethel. He gets hauled out of bounds, but the flag is probably going to be a...
Sure is. It's another procedure penalty. False start that time.
So this one's coming back after the penalty.
Can you feel the heat under Tommy Atha's hat?
Yes. He's not going to be happy about this, especially with the way things went in the game last week. I know they had a few penalties in that game that they wish hadn't occurred, but overall it was fairly, close to penalty free. So that wasn't a big problem last week, and you don't want to feel like taking a step back there here in game 3.
Not at all. Not at all, man. And that time the Lions decided to take the penalty. That puts them behind the chains. It'll be 2nd and 15. Again, I think with the ball where it is, Matt, this is 4-down territory. If you pick up, on the next 2 plays, if you pick up 6 to 8 yards, they're going to keep going for it.
Jack Good ready to take the snap. He'll pull it down, hand it off. They're going to run it to the near side. The ball carrier is going to be Joel Lowenberg, the sophomore. And he's able to pick up maybe a couple of yards, but there really wasn't a lot to work with on that play.
No, Christian Heritage is tightened up on defense. They really have.
They have. You're
that,
right.
Along with the Tigers' struggles with penalties, has really changed the dynamic of this game.
And again, as much of the first half as you've seen Darlington dominate this game, it's only 14-0. We got a 2-score game, and we're getting closer to halftime with 4:07 remaining here on the clock.
I think the goal here is to pick up about half of this and then roll the dice on 4th down. And if you can pick it up with something underneath, that's a bonus.
So Jack Good set to take the snap. He's going to drop back, looking to throw after faking the handoff, and he's going to be dropped for a sack. We got some pushing and shoving going on out there.
Yeah,
that's chippy.
Yeah, that time Christian Heritage did a great job of just collapsing the pocket around Jack Good. He tried to step up, but he stepped up into trouble. And went down for the sack. They could roll the dice and throw and see if they could, get a pass interference, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him punt here either.
Well, right now they've got the offense remaining on the field. Jack Good, quarterback, over there standing about the 40-yard line, chatting with Demarion Floyd.
I'm going to be getting the taste of baby powder out of my mouth until tomorrow, I think. I need to get some barbecue on quick.
Exactly. That's not ever been a smell that I've been particularly keen on, personally.
Right, me either. Me either.
2:57 left to go. We're going to have an interesting halftime, aren't we?
Got another flag. Oh, they took a delay game. Now they'll punt. They were just letting the clock run down. Little strategy there. Strategic penalty. Those are the kind you can deal with.
So each team's going to go off to the sidelines. We're going to take a quick break. Got 2:55 left to go in the first half. Darlington leads at 14-0. We'll come back for fourth down after these messages on dip. No, we're going to keep it right here. Don't take a break. They're coming back out on the field. That was a quick one. My bad. Almost took the break. A little prematurely there. So we're good.
And, Matt, I don't know if you've noticed, but for the better part of the game, the play clock is malfunctioning. You don't have it at either end. So that's been a tough thing to keep an eye on.
For sure. And now the Tigers are going to punt this football away. And there's the snap. Bethel's going to pull it down and kick it from around the 50-yard line. Nice kick. Yeah. Fair catch is signaled, and they'll get it at the 10.
Well, Christian Heritage has all 3 timeouts. They've got 90 yards between them and pay dirt, 2:47 left. So, there's an opportunity here for them. But thus far, they have, their total yards, wouldn't be surprised if they're under 20 at this point. I think they had one play of over 5 yards in all of their possessions, and that was a quarterback keeper down on the goal line. So it has been really tough sledding for the Lions offense. And I'm not surprised, to be honest, with the way Darlington's played and what we knew coming into this game, that they were one-dimensional. Darlington has achieved their goals of just shutting this thing down by stacking the box.
So Christian Heritage will line up, ball on the 11-yard line with 1st and 10, 2:47 left to go in the half, and they got a long way to go, as you mentioned, to score. Triplett's going to take the snap. He'll run it, finds a little room, gets tripped up, getting his hands in there, I believe it was Joel Owenberg. And not a big gain there.
No, not at all.
Yards.
And if Darlington can get them to go 3 and out again, which would be every drive, then they could get the ball back with enough time and good enough field position to try to put some more points on the board.
So Christian Heritage is going to line up. 2nd down and 8. Ball on the 13-yard line on their side of the field, working from left to right. There's the snap to Triplett. He's going to hand it off. Thomason's got some room this time. He's running down the sidelines. Boy, he's got some speed when he turns on the afterburners, gets it across the 30, and gets hauled out of bounds.
An explosive play is 20 yards or more, and that was the first explosive play that the Tigers have given up tonight. He got a good crease there, and we got to see why Eli Thomason is a player to keep your eye on. Great run there.
Yeah, they've really, as you mentioned, been able to keep him at bay tonight, but there's a flash of what we've seen from him leading up to this game, the game he had against Temple last week. 31-yard line, shotgun formation for 1st down and 10. Lions still with the ball on their side of the field, working from left to right. There's the snap, dropping back Triplett. He's got
trouble.
3 Tigers on him. Gatlin Hancock wraps him up and brings him down. What a defensive stop there for the Tigers. They needed that.
Yeah, I think he wanted to roll out, and there were 3 Tigers on him before he could make a decision and get outside of the pocket. Gatlin Hancock hammered him to the ground and gets a sack. I think that's a sack and a half for Hancock. I'll give him that sack. That's a full sack for the Mullet Master.
The Mullet Master. And he is running off the field right now, going to take a breather. But what a great play there defensively, and just what the doctor ordered here to push the Lions back a bit, setting up 2nd down and 20 with the ball now on their own 22, working from left to right. They'll snap it from the gun. Dropping back is going to be Triplett. He's going to put it in the air, and that's going to be incomplete, bringing up 3rd down and 20.
And the heat was coming on that one. Logan Floyd, another name we've called a lot tonight, was coming with the pressure up the middle, and he almost got home. As Triplett just had to unload early and could not hit his receiver. Even if they catch that one, it's not going anywhere. The coverage was locked down.
Braden Coleman was the intended receiver on that play for the Lions. Now the Lions coming back to the line of scrimmage for 3rd down and 20 with the ball remaining at the 22 on their side of the field. Trailing Darlington, by the way, 14-0 with under a minute to play now here in our 2nd quarter. So we're almost at halftime. There's another big run for Mr. Thomason, and he pulls the pile. Not enough to get the 1st down. And we got some pushing and shoving going on. A couple flags come out. And Ian, we talked about at the beginning of the game, both teams, when you got a rivalry situation like this, keeping your composure is of the utmost importance.
It sure is, and you got to hope that Darlington didn't get pulled into this, because they're outperforming their opponent tonight, and it's still a close enough game to where a couple of mistakes could really cost you.
You definitely don't want that to become part of the storyline.
Not at all. We'll see what the call is. Could be offsetting. All right, it is a personal foul against Darlington.
That stings.
Yes, absolutely. Instead of being able to call a timeout, possibly try to mount a drive and score before halftime, Christian Heritage will be in Darlington territory with a chance to put points on the board themselves. They still have all 3 timeouts, Matt, and there are 43 seconds left on the clock. The penalties are starting to mount for the Tigers. That is 5 for 55 by my count, only due to the fact that Christian Heritage declined another one for 5 yards. I'm going to have to cross-reference this with Alex Fair at halftime, make sure my stats are accurate.
Quickly goes Christian Heritage back to the line, though, and they're going to hand it off and run it off to the left side. A good stop there by the Tigers there on first down. Christian Heritage got back to the line to see if they could catch the Tigers sleeping, but that didn't happen, and they took a loss of about 2.
I mean, if you're Christian Heritage here, you got to take a timeout. You got to roll the dice, cook something up here. You've got a chance to put yourself back in the game here. You've been outperformed, but you're still in it, and a score could totally change the mood of this game.
Well, we do have a timeout, and we're going to do the same. 27.9 seconds left in the first half. Darlington 14, Christian Heritage 0. We'll step out for 30 seconds.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet Buick GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside Buick GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
And here we go, 27.9 seconds left on the clock in the half. There's the snap. Triplett is rolling out, looking to throw, and he's going to put the ball in the air. Had company in the backfield. He's got his man, hits him, and he is going to trot right into the end zone. And that is Eli Thomason for a touchdown and the Christian Heritage line strike.
Look, let's give Coach Pogue credit. He took the time out there. You're in this ball game now. You're right in the thick of this ball game because they took a shot downfield and things had to unfold the way they wanted. They really have not had much success all night, but they hit the long ball. They take advantage of the Darlington penalty, and now they have climbed back into this ball game with 17.2 seconds left in the first half. A crucial error by a usually very sound Darlington team has cost them here in the first half.
The hold will be handled by Sawyer Korn. The kicker here for the extra points, Carson Russell, and we've got a timeout. We're going to keep it right here through the timeout, but a very, very big turn of events there. A big touchdown pass from Mr. Triplett to Thomason. And how many yards was that pass play, Ian? Did you catch that?
42.
42.
40. Oh, 50. He was at the 50.
Excuse me. 50-yard pass play to Eli Thomason for Christian Heritage, and they're right back in it. We talked about it several times throughout this half. Darlington was really dominating the game, but the scoreboard was showing 14-0, and they just kind of kept leaving Christian Heritage opportunities, and they're able to capitalize on that and cut the score in half if they can get this extra point, so the game looks a lot different now.
It certainly does, and credit to the Lions for sticking it out. They took advantage of the late hit that kept the drive alive, and were able to hit the deep ball, and they dialed up a big play.
Carson Russell on for the extra point. This will be the first opportunity that we've seen for him tonight to try to tack on a point here for Christian Heritage. Here comes the snap. Hold looks good. Kicks on the way, and it is through. So now the score moves 14-7 as Christian Heritage cuts that Darlington lead in half.
And in a half where Darlington has absolutely dominated, they are only up 7 points. So I imagine that the locker room will be an interesting environment as they regroup. I think we'll see them take a knee here. They get to receive the second half kickoff after winning the toss and deferring. So this will be an opportunity for Darlington to kind of give themselves a gut check and say, I'm sure Coach Atha is going to have some good pointers for them.
No doubt about it. And you go back to what set up that touchdown pass, partly had to do with the personal foul. And you don't want to see things like that happen. We talked about it in the pregame, keeping that composure and not letting your opponent get in your head, especially when you've got a situation where you've got a lead and you're dominating the football game. So that was unfortunate that that's how the first half is likely going to end.
Yeah, a half absolutely dominated by the Tigers, but it's a one-score ball game, and now you just pick up and move forward. And I expect we'll see a much cleaner half from Darlington in the second half, wouldn't you?
No doubt about it. There's no question about it. And we don't know what happened. I mean, there could have been.
No, I'm sure there was some. Yeah, absolutely. It's usually the last. It's usually the last person to throw a punch or say something that gets caught. So
that kicks end over end. It's going to be brought out by Talon Shire, who fields it at the 10. He goes up the middle, finds a seam. He stays up, breaks a couple of tackles, and he's down to the 39-yard line where Darlington will set up shop, but with under 10 seconds in the half.
Hey, you've got some athletes. It's hook and ladder time, man.
We'll see.
See what you can do. If you can pick up 15 to 20 yards here, you can take a Hail Mary shot at the end of the half. Darlington still has 2 timeouts left.
So the Tigers back to the line of scrimmage with first down and 10, 9.8 seconds left until we get to halftime, and we've got the halftime show coming up. We'll do a lot of things during halftime, including having an interview with Gordon Powers. Looking forward to chatting with him for a bit. There's the snap, and they will take a knee. That is the end of the half. So at the end of one half of play, Darlington Tigers 14, Christian Heritage scoring there with 17 seconds left in the half. They've cut the lead in half. It's 14-7 in favor of Darlington. Let's send it back to the studio for a 4-minute break as we get set up for the halftime show. Glad you're with us.
At Darlington, we're proud to wear purple and white.
Because Tigers strive for greatness.
In the classroom and on the field.
We know that we can do anything.
Be anything.
Achieve anything.
We're part of a program that is 100% dedicated to nourishing our minds and our bodies.
As teammates, we push each other further than we ever thought we could go.
Because every single one of us has something to contribute.
We practice hard so that when we compete, we can leave it all out on the field.
With each win, we build confidence.
With each loss is a lesson.
Our coaches teach us more than technique.
They prepare us to be good teammates,
friends,
and people.
We face adversity together
and push through to reach our goals.
We may struggle,
but we will never give up.
Because today,
tomorrow, forever.
We're Darlington Tigers.
They are super knowledgeable about the market in Rome, whether it's home buying, rental homes. They have their finger on the pulse of what's going on.
We both sold a house and bought a house, and the transition from both went really smoothly for us.
I feel like they've become almost a part of our family, so we're just really appreciative of Hardy and what they've done for us.
All their team put together, from maintenance to management to sales, I can't really say enough about them. I'd highly recommend them to anybody coming to town or living in Rome looking for investment properties or homes to buy.
I'd like to wish the Darlington football team a great season. Go Tigers!
Go Tigers!
Here, I'm becoming who I want to be.
Here, I am looking toward my future.
Here, we learn from our failures so that we may soon succeed.
Here, we're passionate about learning and trying new things every day.
Here, we search for new perspectives and cultures so we can better understand the world.
Because at Darlington, we know we're in the most trusted hands.
As we discover new passions and learn more about ourselves through academics,
athletics,
fine arts,
and service to our community, We show our versatility as we choose different pathways to our goals.
This is our home.
We embrace challenges and persevere, even when something seems impossible.
We collaborate and create to take our place in the world.
We know that together we can make an impact.
This is our moment, our time.
Graduates today, Darlington forever.
My name is Ryan Somerville. I am the sales manager for Business Water Solutions. We do water purification coolers as well as ice machines for any size business. We're on campus right now at Darlington School. Super happy to be here. They're one of our biggest customers. I myself played sports here. Our two founders played sports here. It was absolutely our pleasure to be a sponsor for Darlington Athletics. I think one thing that really sets us apart is our water purification. There's 13 stages. The reverse osmosis part of it has been a huge part of our success, along with our 24-hour guarantee for service calls. So when a customer does call us, we're then guaranteed within 24 hours. We were able to provide a touchless water system to make it more COVID-friendly in terms of germs and touching the water system. One thing I always say is we're not selling a product, we're selling our service. That's what we really push for every single day, is to have a customer service experience like they've never had before.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection, or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet Buick GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside Buick GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
live stream from their YouTube channel. We're glad you're with us. However, you're following the game tonight. Darlington up 14-7. We got about a minute and a half left to halftime. Then we'll have the 3-minute mandatory warm-up period between halves. So we've got a few minutes to chat. And, and one thing that we should point out as we get ready for halftime to expire here in a couple of moments, Darlington, they lead at 14-7. But they won the toss before the game, and they deferred to the second half. So they're going to get that offense back out on the field. I think that first drive, setting the tone to start the second half, is going to be important in this game. Yeah, absolutely, Matt. I mean, let's face it, Darlington dominated the half, but the storyline as to why this is a one-score football game comes in some unforced errors. And one of the things I love about what Coach Powers said when he was in here, it's an effort foul in some way. He said they're almost trying to get the blocks too perfect, holding on just a little too long on those holding calls. And then, of course, he had that personal foul that kept the drive alive, and then Christian Heritage took advantage of it. Got to give credit to them where credit is due. But Darlington wants to get that straightened out because they have outperformed the team that they are leading 14-7, and it really feels like it should be more like 28-7. Wouldn't you agree? There's no doubt. There's no doubt about that. So it's going to be really interesting to see, the flow of the game once we open up for this second half. Do you want to give you an update? Obviously, on Friday nights during the baseball season or during the football season, we have high school football, so we don't have the Braves tonight. We'll get you back to that series coming up tomorrow. But right now, the Braves are on top, 4-1, top of the sixth of that game. And I know Ian is standing here prepared with some scores from other high school games. I sure am. I'll give you the rundown because there are some good ones. And myself, Jason Payne, Matt Davis, we all picked the games this afternoon. They're not going the way we thought they would. We picked them the same. Wow. I mean, we didn't have a single difference amongst the three of us. Which is rare, by the way. We all took Rome over Carrollton. They trailed 13-7 at halftime. A lot of football left there. Here's the shocker for me. Allatoona, great program, but they are up 17-zip on Cartersville at halftime. And they started the season 0-2, didn't they? Yeah, 0-2. Against some decent competition, but I just expected the Canes to win that one commandingly. Here's another one, and we'll get to our term of the week, but looks like the Coos Eagles have a chance to get off the schneid because they are up 26-14. I confirmed this score after last week's little snafu. They're leading Gordon Central, the only team they defeated last year, 26-14 at the half. Again, lots of football to play there, so we'll see how it plays out. Model on the road at Woodland, and they are. It's actually the third quarter now. They're down 14-7. We all took Dalton to beat Sonorville. Sonorville is up 20-14 at the half. That's not a shocker. Shocked by that. Not a shocker. But we did all take Dalton. We did. We knew Sonorville had the talent to maybe put up a fight in that game, but last week, they kind of shot themselves in the foot a fair amount in that game, and getting down quickly in that game, 21-0. I just thought that the depth and the size of Dalton would kind of wear them down, but we'll see what happens. As you said, there's still a lot of football left. Yeah. Then another game, we all took Temple to beat Chattooga. That one's 12-7 at the half. So we'll see how that one plays out. And then Calhoun, who lost in week one, won by 1 point last week at Gardendale, Alabama, is trailing 21-17 at the half to Creekview out of Canton. Cedartown up 21-zip over Sequoia at the half. I don't think we're surprised by that one. Rabun County leading Adairsville 49-21 at the half. Wow. That's a lot of points. At the half. God. Yes, indeed. Oh. And that's all I've got for you as far as score updates. We're going to follow these closely. Some close games and some very important games taking place across the region tonight. Here, Darlington's leading Christian Heritage 14-7. We've only got a minute until the mandatory warm-up period expires, so let's have it. We got to have our term of the day. What does getting off the schneid mean? Okay. The origins, So, Matt, to be on the schneid means to be on a losing streak. We knew that. You knew what it meant as far as football was concerned. You're racking up a series of losing and especially scoreless games. Schneid is actually short for Schneider, a term originally used in the card game of gin, meaning to prevent an opponent from scoring any points. Schneider entered the vocabulary of gin from German, where it means tailor. Apparently, the original sense was that if you were Schneidered in gin, you were cut, as if by a tailor, from contention in the game. So there you have it, buddy. It's all about some poor guy with the last name Schneider, and he must not have been very good at gin. Well, I tell you what, next time that everybody listening at home, whether it's on the radio or watching the video, next time you're watching some games and somebody says something about the team needing to get off the schneid, you're going to make sure that you repeat all that Ian just told us, right?
Right. They're all going to remember this
They'll all
lesson.
remember this.
They're going to remember it.
Yeah, that's an important lesson.
It is. It is. So our first ever, what are we calling it? What's the segment?
It was maybe a football term of the week or
Okay,
something
all
like
right,
that.
all right.
Or saying, or I don't know how you'd want to. The wordsmith's over there getting ready to write his newspaper article about the Darlington game. Maybe we should ask him what we should call the segment. He might have some ideas for us. But we're ready for football.
We
12
sure
minutes
are.
on the clock. Darlington up 14-7. They're going to get the ball to start our second half.
Schneid's aside.
All righty.
We're here to watch some football and bring it to you at home. Here we go.
Here's the kickoff from Carson Russell from Christian Heritage. That one's going to float to about the 20. It's going to be brought out by Talon Shirey, and he catches that over on the sideline. Not great field position here for the Tigers to start the second half. Not terrible, but
yeah, I think that Shirey thought he could field that one and make the cut to get upfield, but he was too close to the boundary, and the ball will rest at the 17-yard line. Worst field position of the night for the Tigers.
Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game coming up directly after the game. And the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show, we're going to have the voice of the Pepperell Dragons. They are off tonight. Clay Graham is going to join Lynn Butler and Austin Butler in the studio, so that's going to be a lot of fun for those guys. All right, Darlington with the first possession of the second half. They're going to start it at the 17-yard line on their side of the field. So the Tigers will line up in a shotgun formation, or more of a pistol formation, with Demarion Floyd in the backfield. A couple of wide receivers, one on each side. They're going to turn, hand it off to Floyd, and he gets brought down after a pickup of maybe a yard or two. There was really nothing there, Ian. He kept the legs going and got what he could, but it's about a 2-yard pickup.
And, Matt, I was just handed some stats. Total yards in the first half. This is going to catch you off guard. Didn't feel like it. 64 total yards for Darlington.
Really?
To Christian Heritage's 59 total yards.
That's shocking to me.
Yeah, that definitely, it didn't feel that way.
But it was all the short fields.
Yep.
Here comes the snap. Going to be a toss sweep here to Demarion Floyd. Runs out to the sidelines on the near side. Gets tripped up and out of bounds at around the 20. So not a lot going on there either.
Not at all. Great pursuit there, sideline to sideline from the Lions defense.
Actually lost a yard on that play, yeah. So that brings up third down and about 8, I should say, for the Darlington Tigers. So they're in a tough spot here on their first possession, having a hard time getting it going.
Revisiting some of those stats, again, Triplett was 3 of 9 for 43 yards with a touchdown and interception, while Good was 5 of 8 for 44 yards in the first half. He's going to be in a passing situation here at 3rd and 8.
So Jack Good will line him up. In the backfield with him is going to be Joel Lowenberg, the sophomore. Stacked wide receivers on each side of the formation.
Haven't seen this tonight.
No, we have not. Here comes the snap on 3rd and 8. Dropping back into a clean pocket is going to be Good. Throws his pass out to the left side over to Thompson. Connects. Got a few yards on the play, but they're going to have to punt here, Ian.
Yeah, they are. They picked it up there, trying to get the ball to Thompson in space and let him do what he does, which is make guys miss, but that time he didn't have the opportunity to shake the defender, and Darlington will go 3 and out to start the half, and Thomas Bethel comes out to boot it away. He'll stand at the Darlington 8-yard line to do so.
Glad you're with us tonight on the broadcast. We're going to have Braves baseball on Saturday and Sunday. Then Monday it's Georgia Tech versus Clemson from one of those Chick-fil-A kickoff games. And that's going to bounce up to Bethel after the snap. A low snap. A good kick. Gets the kickoff, and it drops in at about the 40, where a fair catch was signaled by the returner, which was Wyatt Brumlow.
Well, Bethel's baseball skills came in handy there as he fielded it on a short hop and then was able to get a really good punt with no return there. Good hang time and good composure from Bethel on that kick.
So a 3 and out for the Tigers and a punt, and that sets up Christian Heritage at the 40-yard line on their side of the field to have their first possession of the second half after scoring with just seconds remaining in the first half to cut the Darlington lead in half. We're 14-7, and for most of the first half, it didn't feel like we were going to have this close of a game at this point of the game, but we certainly do.
Now we're going to have to give some credit to Christian Heritage's defense at this point. They've made some adjustments. And after reading those total yards, both defenses performed well in the first half.
Shotgun formation. Triplett takes the snap, fakes the handoff to Thomason. He'll run it, and he is going to be brought down after a pickup of 2 or 3.
And again, Triplett, a big fella, and it looks like they are going to incorporate him into this running attack a little bit more in the second half after he had a few good carries in the second quarter.
So Christian Heritage working from left to right. Got a 2nd and 7 coming up here from the 43-yard line. And they will come back to the line of scrimmage. Going to send a couple of wide receivers to the short side of the field, which is the near side of the field. And shotgun formation for Triplett. He'll take the snap, turns, hands it off to Thomason. He is brought down by Gatlin Hancock, who wraps him up by his legs and brings him to the turf. What a stop, Ian.
Yeah, great penetration there by Gatlin Hancock, and he takes the ball carrier to the ground for a loss, setting up a 3rd and long. Other than the one shot downfield, we have not seen much success in the passing game for the Lions and Carter Triplett, mainly because the Tigers have been in his face all night long. The trend has been to roll him out to his left, and then he stops and throws back across his body. We'll see if they stick with that strategy or if it's a more traditional drop back in the pocket.
Well, this will be a shotgun formation here for Carter Triplett. He takes the snap. He's rolling out, looking to throw. He's got company. He's going to run, gets tripped up, and is brought to the turf, setting up a 4th down. So both teams go 3 and out on their first possession of the second half.
I'll tell you what, Logan Floyd wants some cupcakes too, man. We've been calling 42's name all night long. Shoestring tackle there, and if he doesn't make it, Triplett's got some room to run. Maybe he can even make a man miss and pick up the first down. So a big tackle there from Logan Floyd, forcing a 3 and out and a punt.
So the punter out. Well, it looks like they're going to go for it, actually.
And we've got a flag. Not sure what this is. Legal substitution, perhaps, because there's plenty of time on the play clocks, which are functioning again. They were out most of the first half.
It's against the Tigers.
Oh, my goodness.
And the penalty bug strikes again.
It does, but not enough. Well, we'll see. Matt, they're lining up to go for it.
Yeah, they were lining up to go for it when it was 4th and 9, and so certainly looks like they're going to do that here at close to midfield.
They're waving off the flag.
Okay.
Breaking news. The flag is being waved off, and the ball is being backed up to the original line of scrimmage.
Very interesting turn of events. I'm not sure what just happened there.
And I'm surprised they're going for it here. Their defense is playing well. If they give this up, that's great field position for the Tigers.
2 wide to the near side. There's a direct snap, and they're going to punt it away. And this is going to drop and kind of die right at around the 21-yard line. So they did punt after all.
They did. That's respect to Talon Shirey. They didn't want to give him a chance to break one in the return game. So a direct snap to Eli Thomason there, and he punted the ball away with nobody back to return. The Tigers will take over. I believe that was a 23, yeah.
So the Tigers at their own 23-yard line to start their second drive of the game. And, you know, it's weird because in the beginning of the game, it felt like the Tigers were going to do similar to what they did last week. And now it feels like one of those games where you're just going to have to hang on and kind of grind it out here in the second half.
It certainly does, Matt. They have really struggled to move the ball. I mean, and they had a short field those first 2 drives, but we'll see if they can get something going on offense, put a drive together.
Getting ready for the snap from the shotgun. Shirey goes in motion from the near side to the far side. Tigers working right to left. There's the snap. They're going to Shirey. He's going to run. He runs out to the sidelines and is brought down. A nice stop there by
54, Daniel Gale.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, and Shirey's slow to get up. He's on the sideline. I don't know if they'll blow this dead because he's over there. I think he's okay. He's holding his right calf.
But nonetheless takes a loss there of about a yard. So that sets up 2nd and 11 here for the Tigers as they bring some new personnel on for this next snap. So 2nd and 11 from the 22-yard line. Darlington on their side of the field trying to get something going on offense. Their first drive to start the second half didn't go according to plan. They went 3 and out. Then Christian Heritage went 3 and out. And the Tigers right now have got a 2nd and 11 after a loss on that first play.
And as much as this didn't feel like this kind of game, a couple of first downs and a swing in field position is a victory at this point. Well, we've got
another stoppage here. Now they're throwing the plastic footballs, Ian. See if we can open up the window and grab us a couple.
I know. The kid in me wants to reach my hand out and grab one, you know?
It's the natural instinct. If you grew up, going to games, which we both did, you just want to do that. It's a little change in personnel here before the Tigers run back to line of scrimmage. We get ready for that 2nd 11, which feels like it's been an eternity between snaps. three wide receivers, two on the far side. There's a snap. They're going to hand it off to Bowden Owens. He stood up and brought down. Didn't get a whole lot there. That sets up a 3rd and real long.
It does. It's going to be 3rd and 9. 8. Long 8. And they'll change up the personnel. You got Thomas Bethel, Demarion Floyd coming out, Joel Lowenberg and Bowden Owens coming off the field. Braden Bell, Eli Thompson, and Slade Clevenger are in at wide out.
So the Tigers back to the line of scrimmage with this 3rd and 8. Ball on the 25-yard line. Shotgun formation. Demarion Floyd in the backfield. Rolling out is Jack Good. Puts it in the air, and that one's going to be short. And that looked like he came in a little bit late on that hit. Ball was already on the turf. But
Good took a shot there, too, trying to release it. That ball came out funny, and he's getting up a little bit gimpy as well. So they have really applied the pressure to Bell as he's dropped back to pass. And Darlington's going to go 3 and out for the 2nd straight possession. It feels like an eternity since the Tigers got a first down, Matt.
Very, very different situation than we saw at the first of the game. So now we'll see the Tigers punt the ball away for the 2nd time to start the 2nd half. We've got 5:47 left to go in the 3rd quarter. Darlington still with the lead, 14-7 if you're just tuning in. Here comes the kick from Tommy Bethel from the 10. Gets a good boot on it. That's been a shining bright spot, and gets it down to about the 46.
So good field position. Again, the field position battle is one to watch here as we've gotten into a defensive struggle between the Lions and Tigers. The Darlington defense is going to have to stand tall on this next possession.
Well, I tell you, Ian, we talked about it in the pregame. The last 4 of these matchups between these two teams have been settled by a score and have gone down essentially to the last couple of series of the games. And it looks like, who knows, we may see that again in this football game, whereas at the beginning of the game when Darlington was up 14-0, you know, it just didn't really feel like it was that type of game.
Absolutely not. Model has knotted it up at 14 with Woodland. All the other scores remain the same as they were the last time I gave you an update. That'd be a huge win for the Blue Devils if they could go on the road and win that one.
Yes, sir. Get off the schneid. There's the snap. They're going to go hand it off to Gay, and he is going to be turned around and dropped after a pickup of a couple of yards.
Yeah, he spun back. Hey, there was nothing there, but he was able to keep his legs driving forward and ended up picking up 3 yards when it looked like he was going to get stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
So 2nd down and 7 coming up for the Lions. They trail on the road 14-7. We're almost to the 5-minute mark, Ian, and the ball's at midfield here for the Lions.
It'll be interesting. They went with the direct snap there on that last possession. And it's Gay and Triplett that are in the backfield with Eli Thomason up at that, sniffer back? Is that what you call it?
That's right.
Yeah.
Gordon Powers taught me that term. There's the snap. They're going to turn, hand it off, give it to Gay, and he's going to be stood up. Gatlin Hancock is certainly in the running here today, I believe, for the Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake.
I tell you what, Logan Floyd, Gatlin Hancock, Jack Good had a heck of a half on defense. He hasn't been out there as much on that side of the ball in the 2nd half, but those 2 guys have just been around the ball all night long.
3rd down and 7, or actually 8, I should say. Ball on the 49-yard line here for the Christian Heritage Lions. We're almost to the 4-minute mark here of this 3rd quarter. It's been going by pretty quickly. We may actually get, well, I don't want to say it, but I was about to say
Don't curse us. Don't curse us.
I won't do it, man. I'll hold off. Shotgun formation for 3rd and 8. Triplett getting ready to take the snap, working from left to right. There it is. He's going to drop back, play action, looking to throw. A screen pass, gets it to Thomason. He stays up, breaks the tackle, stays on his feet. Stiff arm. He's running down the sidelines, and he goes out of bounds. I didn't see where he went out. There's also a flag here.
There is a flag, and he stepped out at the 34-yard line. So we'll see what the flag is. Let's hope it's a block in the back. A mistake would be beneficial to the Tigers right now. And it is going to be against the Lions.
So we're now officially under the 4-minute mark. The Lions will take a penalty here.
Now we'll see how this shakes out, though, Matt. It was 3rd down and 8, and this will be a spot foul. So
big crowd on hand, by the way, to take in this game tonight. A lot of purple out there, Ian.
Yeah.
Darlington fans are showing out and making some noise.
They are. The students in all white. Here we go, Matt. Tail of the tape. They're marching it off. It was a big penalty. Back to about the original line of scrimmage there. They had the first down, and the penalty was downfield, so that's really going to make the coaches sick to their stomach. But a break for Darlington, which they were due a break in this ball game.
So the ball is now going to be back at midfield here for 3rd down and 7 for the Christian Heritage Lions. So a penalty, as you pointed out, hopefully helping out the Tigers' cause here as they try to get off the field on defense. See if they can add to their lead. 14-7 is your score right now with under 4 minutes to go in the 3rd. Shotgun formation. Quarterback's roll. It comes off there as a long pass towards the end zone. That's in no man's land, incomplete.
Good coverage downfield, and that one was overshot by about 10 yards. Now, they may go for it here. I think you keep playing the field position game. Personally, the way your defense is performing right now, Darlington struggled to move the ball. You could punt it and pin them deep. I don't see any yellow on the field, but the officials seem to be sorting some stuff out too. Okay, never mind. We're good to go. It's going to be 4th and 7 and a big decision for Christian Heritage. Do they punt or do they go for it?
And right now, it looks like they still got their offense on the field, so they're showing they're going for it. We'll see. We saw them punt in a situation like that earlier, and Thomason's in the backfield.
Same formation.
And here comes the snap to Triplet, and they are going to punt. It was a direct snap to Thomason, and that one's sailing towards the 10, takes a bounce and goes out of bounds. So they're going to pin the Tigers back.
Coffin corner right there. He puts it inside the 5-yard line. Well, they marked it at the 6. Still a heck of a punt. And Darlington's going to have to go the distance if they want to score on this next possession.
So we've had 4 3-and-outs, 2 for each team as we start this half. Unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's become a defensive struggle here, and the chess match is on.
So the ball is going to be on the Darlington 7-yard line as they set up shop here, and they got a long way to go, 93 yards if they're going to tack on some points and increase their lead from 14-7, which it is now with 3:32 left to go here, 3rd quarter. So glad you've decided to join us tonight, whether you're listening on radio or also the video stream. Always a pleasure to be here with you on Friday nights, especially when we have the pleasure of being here in the nice, cool press box confines of Chris Hunter Stadium. There's a handoff to Demarion Floyd.
There we go.
Finds a big save. He's up past the 20, the 30, the 40. He's off to the races. One man to beat. He's at the 30, 25, 20. Keep on going. That's a touchdown. 93 yards for Demarion Floyd. Biggest play of the year. And that is going to give Darlington a 2-score lead and perhaps the spark they need to get the momentum in their favor and take control of this football game once and for all.
How about it? Demarion Floyd adds to his 50-plus touchdown run total with a, did you say it was 93-yarder?
93 yards.
Good gracious. And just what the Tigers needed there, a one-play 93-yard drive to make this thing a 2-score game. With the way their defense is playing, if they can just play clean the rest of the way, you got to like their chances.
Explosive play for the Tigers and Demarion Floyd. And I got to tell you, man, what a season that young man is having.
Yeah, 6 rushing touchdowns just the last 2 weeks.
Ryland Scott on for the extra point. He's been perfect the last couple of games. That one's going to be blocked. And now the score is going to remain 20-7 as it is no good.
That's tough. I jinxed. I said he was perfect. That's the announcer's jinx there. Sorry about that, Ron. We know you'll hammer the rest of them home. He's had an outstanding season.
So again, 20-7 the score is right now with Darlington with a 2-score lead. 3:17 left to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Don't think that one was on Ryland either. They were in his face before he could swing his leg.
Man, what an interesting game we're having here tonight at Chris Hunter Stadium. This has been wild.
No doubt about it.
High school football, Friday Night Lights. We saw 2 trains go by early on in the 1st quarter. I hadn't heard another one since then. Have you?
I'm not sure. Sometimes you and I miss them. They come through and we don't notice. Because I'll think I have the count right, and then I don't. A couple of score updates for you. Rome still trails Carrollton 13-6. Model has tied Woodland 14-14. Cartersville trailing Allatoona 17-0. Let's see, any other? Temple up 24-7 now over Chattooga. And Calhoun has taken the lead back 23-21 over Creek View. So just a few updates for you. We'll keep an eye on those scores. And after the game, Matt, it's going to be a rowdy trio. Not just the Butlers tonight, right?
That's right. We're going to have Clay Graham as a part of the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show voice of the Pepperell Dragons on the radio. And he's fired up. I got a few text messages from him today and just getting all the logistics worked out. And he's ready to hang out with the Butler boys and have a good time. Here comes the kickoff. That's going to be a line drive picked up at about the 15, bobbled, and it'll be brought out. Coming up the middle of the field with it, I believe, was Camp Carpenter, and he's going to be dropped at around the 26.
Good coverage there by the Tigers special teams. And now you really want to get a stop. See if you can put this thing away.
So the Tigers so far this half have forced a couple of 3-and-outs here from Christian Heritage, and as you mentioned, looking to do the same here, pin their ears back on defense and see if they can keep them moving the chains. So here come the Lions back out on the field on offense, now trailing by 2 scores. 20-7 is your score. Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show after the game tonight. That'll be after we award the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game. Here comes the snap to Triplett. He's going to hand it off to Thomason in traffic, stays up, turns, and maybe picks up 2 or 3 yards, and Tigers were on him quick, so he was able to make a little bit of it out of that play.
Yeah. Some tough yards between the tackles there for Thomason. Darlington's going to make you earn it. He's really only found a crease once, and then he caught that screen pass that ended up coming back due to a penalty. Other than that, they have really contained that explosive young man.
So we get ready for the snap. There's a handoff, going to run off to the, actually quarterback kept it and ran off to the left side, picked up a big chunk of yards, but not enough first down, I don't believe.
Makes it 3rd and manageable. No, they're going to move the chains, Matt.
Oh, they did? Wow.
Yeah.
So Christian Heritage picks up a first down. We're down to the 2:23 mark here of that 3rd quarter. Trotting off the field is Gatlin Hancock, going to take a breather. Give you a Braves update here in just a couple of moments. I hadn't checked in on that in a little while. So here's the snap on first down. Going to hand it off to Thomason. He finds some room to run. He's got the wheels going now.
Yeah,
picks up about 8 or 9.
Those are all tough yards. He just kept those legs driving. A couple of spins. Fought for 7 or 8 really tough yards.
So that brings up 2nd down and 1 yard to go, actually. Where that spot is, he's got a first down, as a matter of fact. Wow, I didn't think he quite got that.
I didn't either.
But he did. So they're going to set up at the 49, threatening to get into Darlington territory. Triplett ready to take the snap. He's got it and is going to run it, fake the handoff, and then he's going to be dropped at about, after a 5-yard gain, about the 46.
Yeah, so the Lions have something going here on this drive. Some success on the ground, which has not been easy to come by against this Darlington front.
Gatlin Hancock trots back out on the field. Coming off is going to be Connor Ellison for the Tigers. Bring up 1 minute to go in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 4. Ball on the 45 on Darlington's side of the field. Christian Heritage working left to right with the ball. So Lions back at the line of scrimmage. Their quarterback Carter Triplett, 6'4", 220, big kid. Get ready to take the snap. Man goes in motion from the near side, from the far side to the near side. They're going to give it off to Thomason, who stays up, gets another first down, keeping those legs moving.
Yeah, 3 consecutive first downs. Got Gatlin Hancock, looks like he's fighting off a little bit of a cramp there. He's up on his feet, though.
So the Lions at the 39-yard line of the Darlington Tigers. Tigers up 20-7. We're almost done with the 3rd quarter. We're 28 seconds and ticking left in this quarter. Shotgun formation, 2 wide near side. As you get ready for the snap to Triplett, it's a little bit low. He pulls it up, hands it off to Thomason, and they get him quickly. They wrapped him up quickly and got him to the ground.
Yeah, the sophomore was in the backfield quickly on that one. I couldn't see I think it may have been Jack Chandler that assisted on that tackle, but good penetration there by the Darlington front.
And he's just one of those guys, Thomason, that you've got to wrap him up and get him down on first contact, because if you don't, it can be trouble.
Absolutely, and that's the end of the third quarter.
Darlington leads at 20-7. We're going to step out for 1 minute on WLAQ. We're glad you're with us.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection, or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet Buick GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside Buick GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
Darlington Football would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of this year's live stream. Business Water Solutions, Coosa Steel, Hardy Realty, Riverside Auto Group, and Atrium Health Floyd. Thank you for your support. This broadcast is a production of Northwest Georgia Media. Thank you for watching.
Leading at 20-7, Ian.
Yeah, Matt, we've got ourselves a ball game here. Darlington scores on the big 93-yard touchdown to give themselves a little bit of a cushion, but Christian Heritage is mounting a pretty impressive drive. They've picked up 3 first downs on the ground so far. It's 2nd and 10, and you've got Gatlin Hancock kind of gassed over on the sideline, getting hydrated. So one of your best D linemen's off the field. Gus Gamage is coming in to fill that void, though.
Carter Triplett getting set to take the snap on 2nd and 10. Going to run the football, gets tripped up and brought down, but he does pick up about half the yards he needs to get a first down.
Could be 4-down territory here as well, as the Lions are kind of in that no man's land between the 40 and the 30.
Didn't get quite as much as I thought given the angle, so he's got 3rd down and 7 coming up now with the ball at the 36-yard line of the Darlington Tigers. So Christian Heritage with the ball.
Gatlin Hancock is back on the field.
And a train goes by at the same time.
Is it 3? Is it 4? We're about to find out.
They haven't put it up there yet. Here's
big
the
play.
snap. Going to hand it off to Eli Thomason. He breaks off to the left side of the formation. He breaks a tackle. He's running down the sidelines and brought down. Clevenger saved a touchdown right there, but they're going to have the ball deep in the red zone.
Yeah, and Matt, that time they came on a blitz, and that was just the perfect call at the perfect time. The blitz was coming up the middle, and they did a counter play off to the left side, and Thomason had a huge crease there, took advantage of it, almost took it to the house. Clevenger came in late to keep him from taking that one to the house, and it is 1st and goal. That's the 4th first down, all running plays from this Lions team, as all of a sudden we're in an offensive shootout. This game's had it all.
And that was tray number 3, by the way. Shotgun formation. Here comes the snap. Quarterback's going to keep this one, and he is going to be brought down inside the 5 at the 4-yard line. Good stop by the Darlington defense, not giving much room. Yeah.
That was all good damage right there. Laying the thunder down on Carter Triplett.
So it's 2nd down and goal with the ball at the 4-yard line here for Christian Heritage. So Darlington trying to pin their ears back, get a goal line stop here. 10:20 left to go here in the 4th quarter. So we are in the final quarter of the football game. Here comes the snap to Triplett. He is going to pitch right to Thomason, trying to find some room to run. 2 Tigers, 3 Tigers pounce and bring him down. And not much doing there, setting up a 3rd and goal.
Yeah, and I really think this is touchdown or bust territory here. I think a field goal cutting it to 10 points just doesn't do you any good when you're this close to the goal line. So I'm expecting if they don't score here, they'll go for it on 4th down.
So Christian Heritage coming back to the line of scrimmage in just a moment with 9:42 and the clock ticking, trailing 20-7. It's 3rd down and goal from the 3-yard line. Carter Triplett trying to lead his team to a touchdown. cut the deficit here for Christian Heritage. He's going to take the snap, goes to his left, is looking to throw towards the end zone, finds a man wide open right up the middle. That was Eli Thomason. That's a touchdown. We got a one-score ball game.
We sure do. Great composure there by Carter Triplett as the pressure was coming. It almost looked like an old Tebow jump pass almost that he fired over the middle. His 6'4" frame allowed him to see his receiver get down and sit down right in the middle of the end zone. So Eli Thomason gets the touchdown catch, and that's his second of the night. Correct? Didn't Tom? He caught the long ball as well.
Carson Russell on for the extra point. Try to tack that on and make this a 6-point game. And here is the kick on the way, and it is going to sneak on the inside of the right upright. It is good. We got a 6-point ball game, Ian.
And that extra point now looms large. That was blocked on the last Darlington touchdown as they only lead by 6 points. And Christian Heritage has found something on the ground. They were getting nothing for most of this game, and that drive was all on the ground until the touchdown pass of 3 yards.
But what do you do in this situation? That's the antidote. You answer the bell. Darlington Tigers need to put together a good drive here and try to stretch that lead. They're up by 6 points, but obviously against a team like this, man, we got a lot of football left to go here.
Yeah, both teams with their full complement of timeouts, 9:21 left on the clock. And Matt, look, this is the kind of thing that prepares you for the postseason, for region play. This is the first time this season that Darlington has been tested into the fourth quarter. The game was in hand last week. They're going to have to make some plays down the stretch here if they want to win their home opener against a team that they want to beat badly, and we know that. We talked about it. We kind of lost track of it when they got out and up early. We felt like this thing was going to be a runaway. It is not. It's going down to the wire.
It is going down to the wire in true Christian Heritage and Darlington fashion the last 4 years of we've talked about all night. So it's absolutely crazy. End over end. I don't know what it is in the air when these two teams play. Bringing outs. Talon Shirey at the 20, brings it out the 25. Stiff arm, stays up, good spin move up the middle of the field. Ball comes out, and the Christian Heritage Lions have recovered and will have amazing field position with the momentum in their corner. Wow.
What a change of events here. Now the pile, they haven't ruled who has the ball yet, Matt. And guess what? I think the Tigers got on that ball somehow, some way, because they did.
They dodged the bullet just there.
Wow. There were so many white jerseys around that ball that is just hard to believe. And unfortunately, we don't have the replay, so I can't tell you which Tiger got in there and fought for that ball, but they may have just saved the game.
Yeah, I tell you what. Whoever that was, if we can figure it out, they may have just earned some cupcakes.
It's possible.
Depending on how this game turns out. The Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game coming up at the end of the night.
And look, Shirey was trying to make a play. He had already made 2 guys miss and was trying to make another spin move when that ball was stripped. He may have gotten back on it.
So the ball's at the 33. Stacked receivers on each side. Turns, fires. Eli Thompson's got the football trying to get some space, and he's clocked at the 30. My goodness, they were on him quickly.
They sure were. And Eli Thompson, such a weapon last year, has just had a tough time getting loose and really hasn't gotten that many opportunities with the ball in his hands. I don't expect that to continue. He's just too good of a playmaker. Eventually, he's going to pop a run and make a big play.
There's no doubt about that. It's just a matter of when. 8:39 left to go in the game. Darlington leads at 20-14. Just avoided disaster after nearly turning it over on the kickoff. There's the snap. Jack Good going to hand it off. Gives it off to Demarion Floyd. Stays on his feet and gets across the 40. Didn't quite get the first down, but what a tough run from a tough kid.
Yeah. He got hit in the backfield or right at the line of scrimmage. Was able to spin off of that and fight forward, and somebody got him by the shoelace, or he might have taken that one to the house too. So he is a threat to take it to the house every time he touches the ball.
Always a step away from the big play. 3rd down and 3 here for the Tigers as they get ready to try to move the chains on this next play. Coming back out on the field is Eli Thompson, coming off as Joel Owenberg. And now Jack Good runs back to the line of scrimmage, giving some instruction to the line. Back in the backfield is going to be Floyd. Turning, faking the handoff, going to throw a swing pass out to Eli. Stays up, gets across the 40. He's down to the 50, shakes off a defender, down the sidelines. He streaks, cuts it inside. 20, 15, 10, 5. Gone! Eli Thompson. We were waiting on that big play, and there it is, Ian. The Tigers strike again with 7:26 left to go to increase their lead, 26-14. What a heck of a play.
Take the words out of our mouths, Eli, because you were boxed in, young man, and you made guys miss. What a play. What a play at a clutch time in the game. That was something else right there. Eli Thompson houses it. What was that, 50, 60 yards?
60-yard play pass to Eli Thompson. Wow, what a play. The Darlington Tigers absolutely needed it. They had to have it, folks. So we get ready for the extra point as the Tigers get ready to line up, leading it now by 12 points. 26-14 is your score. It looks like they're going to try to grab that extra point that was blocked back. They'll go for two. Here's the snap to Good. He rolls to his right. It's in trouble. Puts it in the air, and he connects with a receiver. A flag comes out as Tommy Bethel gets hit late. They convert two and get the penalty. My goodness.
They did. 2-point conversion to Thomas Bethel.
Wow. 28-14. What a turn of events here late in this football game.
And I tell you what, Matt, that was excellent defense by Christian Heritage. Eli Thompson made forced Jack Good to make a quick decision, and they had the guys there. Eli just made them all miss and then took it to the house. That's the kind of play that changes a game, and the Tigers desperately needed it, and Eli Thompson delivers. What a play. I need to watch that one. I'm going to go back on the YouTube channel and probably watch that about 10 or 12 times.
Oh, that's going to be one that makes the highlight reel at the end of the season. There's no doubt about it. So Darlington looking to be a little bit more in control at this point. Still a lot of game to go, though. Darlington up 28-14, but you like their situation a lot better now than you did just a couple of minutes ago. What a turn of events.
Yeah, the ball hits the turf, and we'll have to get the scoop on who got back in there. I really couldn't see it. It looked, by all means, it looked like Christian Heritage was going to get that ball and have a chance to go in and take the lead, but somebody got back on it, kept it in Darlington's possession, and then they took advantage with a huge play, seizing a 14-point lead to match their largest lead of the game with 7:26 left.
And the house is rocking tonight, ladies and gentlemen. These Darlington Tigers are on fans on their feet, stomping to "We Will Rock You." Darlington up 28-14. We got 7 1/4 left here in our fourth quarter of play. The Darlington Tigers are coming out on the field to kick it off again to Christian Heritage. And after the penalty was assessed, they will be kicking off from the 45-yard line. So this is a good opportunity for Darlington back here and make a long field of it here for Christian Heritage now with a 28-14, 14-point lead.
Yeah,
wow.
The personal foul at the end of that one. Thomas Bethel catches the 2-point conversion, then gets a late hit out of bounds. So the penalties have flipped back in the other direction here. I'd like to mention that, too. Darlington has played a really clean half of football, which is not a surprise.
Not a surprise at all. Ball teed up at the 45. Here's the kick from Bethel, and as predicted, that one's going to sail out of the back of the end zone.
Through the uprights.
And through the uprights. It's good. Everybody says in the crowd. What a fun night this is turning into, folks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there really weren't a lot of fireworks in the first half, but we have been treated to a much different second half. Started a little slow, but then once the floodgates open, it's been back and forth. And Christian Heritage is not out of this ballgame. If they can go down and score here, it'll be anybody's game. But Darlington would like nothing more than to get a stop and go ahead and put this thing away.
Well, let's see what they could do here on defense. We're going to have, of course, Carter Triplett trotting his offense back out on the field. Christian Heritage is working from right to left on your radio dial, starting off at the 20 after the kickoff from Tommy Bethel was booted back out of the back of the end zone and through the uprights before it went there. Shotgun formation. Here comes the snap with everybody in tight. Rolling out is going to be quarterback Triplett. Puts it in the air. It is going to be tipped by Darlington. Goes out of bounds, but is there a flag I hear?
There is a flag in the area of a hold. Let's see what the call is. It was away from the play. Here's the signal from the white hat. Personal foul. That'll be half. Yeah, that'll be half the distance of the goal. Move it back to the 10-yard line.
So the penalty bug biting Christian Heritage at this point of the game.
It is. That has shifted, much to the delight of this capacity Darlington Tiger crowd.
Well, they're getting their money's worth tonight. There ain't no doubt about it. This is a good time here at Chris Hunter Stadium. Ball's now going to be inside the 10 here for Christian Heritage, so they got 90 yards to go if they're going to make a game of this one with 7:19 left to go in the fourth quarter. So as you mentioned, Darlington not out of the woods yet, but let's see if they can get a stop here on defense and make that the case. So Carter Triplett takes them back to the line of scrimmage. Now with 1st down and 20 with the ball on the 10 after the penalty yards are assessed. So Triplett lines them up, everybody in tight again for this formation. Man goes in motion. There's the snap, going to hand it off. They give it to Gay, and he's going to be brought down, wrapped up immediately. Maybe picked up a yard or two. Good
Not
stop.
much, though. Not much at all.
So 2nd down and 18 here for Christian Heritage. 2-yard pickup. Got him a couple of those penalty yards back. Clock ticking. That's an important factor, obviously.
Absolutely. Both teams with all their timeouts. But Christian Heritage, most of their success has come on the ground. But they're back deep in their own territory with 2nd and 18. They're going to have to air it out a little bit.
And here comes the snap on 2nd and 18. They're going to run the football. It's going to be a sweep to the near side, and he's going to be brought down pretty quickly, maybe a pickup of a yard or two for Gay.
Yeah, direct snap to Gay, and I think he's hurt. His lead blocker on that play was his quarterback, Carter Triplett. When you're 6'4", 220, you can get out there and do that. But looks like they're going to have to come out and check on him.
Well, while we've got a little stoppage of play, will you give us some scores?
I sure will. I'll be happy to do it, Matt. And we've got some surprising ones. Carrollton leads Rome 16-6. Defensive battle there. It's fourth quarter down at Carrollton. We'll see if Rome can come back. The shocker of the night to me, and it's not that Allatoona, we all know they're a good program, but they are winning 20-0.
I never would have expected
over
that.
Cartersville. No update on Sonoraville Dalton. I've still got that they're up 20-14 at the half. Coosa is up 26-14 in the fourth quarter. Perhaps they get off the schneid. Woodland up 21.
Thanks, Coosa, for giving us the opportunity to say that over and over tonight.
Indeed. Woodland leads Model 21-14 in the fourth. Temple 24-13 over Chattooga. Sequoia trails Cedartown 28-0. Calhoun is up 23-21 over Creekview. Rabun County 55 at Daresville 28 in the third quarter. And that, my friend, is all I've got for you at the moment. But I will hop over before we get back to play. We didn't get to talk about the playoff, had that pulled up, but the Bravos lead 6-1 in the top of the seventh over the Marlins. So that's always good news.
Well, thank you very much for the update. We're waiting on the Christian Heritage Lions to come back out onto the field here, and we will resume play. And we're glad you're with us tonight on WLAQ and also the live stream. And we invite you to stay tuned after the game on the radio to enjoy the Rome Orthopedic Center High School Football Scoreboard Show, which we always enjoy bringing, and we appreciate Rome Orthopedic Center for sponsoring that program. All right, Christian Heritage back to the line of scrimmage. They got some trouble here. His snap is taken by Triplett, and he's got company in the backfield. He's going to have to bail out, puts the ball in the air. It is tipped. What a great play by Bowden Owens to get his hands up, knock that ball away. Otherwise, it could have been caught there by that wide receiver, and a big play would have happened for Christian Heritage.
I think that was Camp Carpenter that was the intended target downfield. And, yes, Bowden Owens with great closing speed there. We got a Tiger down on the play, I believe. And we'll see who this is. It is a Tiger. It's number 50. And again, he's up under his own power. He's going to be okay. But there is a flag down.
So we'll have to check on that here in a couple of moments.
Yes, we will.
So which games are you looking forward to most coming up tomorrow, Ian?
Oh, Matt, there's some good ones. I of course I'm going to be engaged in that Florida and Utah game. Being a Gator fan, seeing how they can do. I don't think they're at that level yet, but having the game at home, I think they've got a fighter's chance to possibly pull off a top 10 upset. I'll be interested in North Carolina Appalachian State. Actually, is going to be my noon game. I've got to watch that one. Georgia and Oregon. I think Georgia wins that handily. Cincinnati and Arkansas is another one I'll keep a close eye on. And I mean, the one that has the most appeal has got to be Ohio State and Notre Dame. But I think that one looks good on paper. I don't think that it's going to be that entertaining, personally.
So we've got 6:05 left to go in this football game. We got a man down that they have now got back up. He is walking off the field here for the Tigers, and we mentioned him last week. He's one that we didn't have on the roster, but he looks like he's going to be good. But Mide Alawararan is off the field.
He's saying good. Are they going to wave off the flag?
Illegal participation
is
what Coach Powers is telling us.
Wow. So instead of it being fourth down, because he continued with his helmet off, that is going to move the ball up, but not enough to make a difference here. They're still going to have to punt it away. Okay, interesting.
All right.
Glad everybody's okay, though.
No doubt. So Christian Heritage will punt the ball away. They're going to be right at about the 1 yard line when the punter gets the ball in his hands. That's going to be Gay. The kick is off, and it's going to drop in at the 45. Fair catch is made right there by Eli Thompson, and that's where Darlington sets up. So they got great field position, Ian.
No doubt about it, and the score here would absolutely put this thing away.
So we're in the fourth quarter. Darlington up 28-14. Stick around after the game. Honeymoon Bakery icing on the cake player of the game. Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show with Lynn and Austin and special guest tonight, voice of the Pepperell Dragons, Clay Graham. And they're all looking forward to that. And we'll have that on the radio, but we'll also have it if you want to go to the WLAQ Facebook page, like it. I just got them set up to have live video of that tonight. So
nice.
We should be good to go there. But this is going to be 3 wide receivers to the far side for the Tigers here on 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line inside Lions territory to start this drive with a 28-14 lead. Pistol formation. They turn, handoff to Demarion Floyd. He's got some room on the edge. He's on the run. 20, 15, 5. Kiss him goodbye, baby. That's a touchdown, Darlington Tigers. And that should be the final dagger, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, what a run. 44 yards to pay dirt for Demarion Floyd over on the edge. What are we going to do at the end of this game, man?
I don't know, man. He makes it tough, doesn't he?
He does.
Last year Patrick Shelley would continue to steal the show, but D. Floyd with another 4 touchdown performance.
Well, the Tigers are on fire right now. 34-14, 20-point lead. Still some time, but it's feeling like they've just about got it.
Yeah, that one. Oh, wow.
There's the snap. They're going to
like
run a
their
trick play and a toss into the end zone, and that is going to be a 2-point conversion. McKay Rush makes the grab, and you'll have to tell me who all touched that ball. They kind of called me flat-footed there.
Sammy Konchesky. I can't remember who snapped the ball, but might have been Konchesky to Eli to Rush McKay there. McKay Rush, sorry.
So 2-point conversion for after the second touchdown in a row. And now the score moves to 36-14. Wow.
What a swing. I mean, there was a loose ball on the ground just a few moments ago that looked like Christian Heritage might have a chance to go in and take the lead. Darlington was able to scrap and recover that fumble and has reeled off 16 points since.
.544 left to go in this football game. The Darlington Tigers set to tee it up and kick it away to Christian Heritage with time running out here in this football game.
And these two gentlemen with their backs to us right here, Logan Floyd and Gatlin Hancock, sitting on the bench there getting hydrated. They have had great football games tonight for the Darlington defensive front.
Well, we haven't given it, or a defensive player, we have not given it to them in a while, so it might be the night tonight. It's hard to say. Kickoff, there it is. It's going to sail through the end zone, and that is going to be another touchback. What a weapon that is.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, here's a score of interest for you, Matt.
Thank you.
I know how much you hate Virginia Tech. They're winning 17-10 over Old Dominion, but Old Dominion is driving in the third quarter. And then another another surprising score, Western Michigan only down 21-13 to a Michigan State team. A lot of people like to challenge Ohio State or Michigan for the Big Ten. So some close ball games. When we get home, we can follow high school and college.
Well, I will say this. I've never been a big fan of Virginia Tech, but it is on my bucket list to go to a night game at Lane Stadium. I would absolutely love to be there when they run out of the field to enter Sandman. That's one of those fan experiences that I think sports fans have got to see.
You know, I went to one.
Yeah, did you?
The lightning strike game against Georgia Tech, where the car blew up and the game was canceled.
Dang. Bet you're never going back, huh?
No.
Shotgun formation, Triplett takes the snap. He hands it off, and with the run, and being brought down after about 4 or 5 yards. Was that Gay with the carry that time?
It was. I
Okay,
think so.
it
It could have been
was.
Thomason. They both have a similar build. It was Gay.
Yeah, it was Gay. So 36-14, Darlington with the lead, and the clock rolling here in the fourth quarter. 5:22 left to go in this football game. Christian Heritage with a football at the 26-yard line, still in their territory. And it looks like we're going to have a short post game again, Ian. As this game was rolling along earlier, it's kind of slowed down.
It has. But
it's been great. It's been so fun.
But there are so many games of interest for the boys in the studio to cover.
There's the snap. Fake handoff. Quarterback's going to run the football, runs it to the near side, and he gets pummeled by about 4 or 5 Tigers. He might have got a yard there.
Not much, but they're in third and manageable here.
Well, I tell you what, I'm looking forward to reading Alex Ferris write up about this game online a little bit later, because he's been having to do a lot of writing over there tonight, hasn't he? There's been a lot of activity in this game. By the way, the Braves are up 8-1 in the bottom of the 7th, in case you were wondering about that game.
Had a correction to the score. We'll see if it's right. Model tied with Woodland, 14-14.
Shotgun formation here for third down and short. Quarterback's going to run the football, and he's hauled out of bounds. Another good stop there by Joel Owenberg, and I think he's going to be short, don't you think?
Got him marked on the far sideline, well across the line of scrimmage.
So you're right.
So
wishful thinking on my part.
Move the chains.
So the chains move, and the ball's now going to be at the 32-yard line. Christian Heritage working out of their own territory, but keeping the ball on the ground. Did get the first down, stop the clock. Score is 36-14. Get you back to Braves baseball tomorrow evening. I believe it's a little after 7 o'clock. First pitch against the Marlins.
Matt just got an update. Carrollton up 23-6 with 1:28 left. That ball game is over. Rome is going to suffer their first loss of the season.
Never would have expected that. I thought it'd be a much closer game.
I did too.
So a couple of wide receivers to the far side here for Christian Heritage. Let's see what they dial up for 1st and 10 now on the 32-yard line on the Lions side of the field. Lions with the football working from right to left. There's the snap. Going to hand it off. Runs up the middle. That's Gay. And he is going to be brought down by about 4 guys as the Tigers continue to swarm to the football.
And not at this point, you're not seeing much urgency from the Lions. So it seems like they are conceding to the fact that they're not going to be able to overcome this 20-point deficit with this much time. Not in any kind of hurry up, just pounding the rock.
Darlington's going to have a bye week next week, by the way, so no broadcast for you, but we'll have the Rome Orthopedic Center High School football scoreboard show in the evening. But we'll get back in action coming up on the 16th. That's going to be a home game against a good football team. It's Northwest Whitfield. The Bruins come calling.
I think Coosa
There's the snap,
wow.
and Joel Lowenberg's right on
boy.
him. The sophomore brings him down for a loss. What a play, man. He is such a joy to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. He blew that play up.
To me, he's the epitome of what a defender for a Darlington football team is all about.
No doubt about it. And playing beyond his years. He did it last year. He's really making a name for himself. By the time he's hanging up his cleats here at Darlington, he's going to be one of the greats, I'd say. I think the Coosa Eagles got tired of us talking about how they can't score. They put up 33 points tonight.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to Coach Mathis and his team. I'm happy for them. He's a good guy. Here's the snap to Triplett. He's got company. It's Lowenberg, and he's right on him. Ball's in the air, though. It's incomplete.
Timed that blitz perfectly. Now they might get him for a late hit out of bounds, though. Oh, that was close. I mean, we're all the way across the field, but he looked like the contact started before he went out of bounds, but I guess they're going to get him for finishing the tackle. Nitpicky in my opinion, but they're not paying me to ref the games.
I hear you, man. They would pay me not to do that. I'll go ahead.
I don't think they could pay me enough to do that.
I don't either, man. I couldn't. I don't have a thick enough skin for that.
No, that is a tough job.
And that's why, we're very, very measured in terms of any kind of.
Hey, it's a bang-bang game, and at the high school level, you don't have the luxury of going back to a monitor to correct a call if you do get it wrong. So, nothing but respect for the guys in stripes out there.
You got to have them to get the game in. Here comes the snap here. Nope. Looks like the Tigers may have jumped that time on
got
defense.
into the neutral zone there.
So that'll be an encroachment against the Darlington Tigers. That'll be a 5-yard penalty in favor of the Lions as they'll move across the midfield down to the 49 in Tiger territory.
And after a half where the Hankies were going against the away team, Darlington's gotten a couple of penalties on this drive, but again, things seem to be in hand with 2:35 left in the ball game.
36-14, Darlington on top. Looks like the good guys may win again. Here's the snap. Quarterback's going to roll out to his left side, and he's got company in the backfield. He puts it in the air, had two guys hanging on him as he did it, and that is going to be nearly intercepted by the Tigers.
Yeah, Bowden Owens and Talon Shirey had a shot at that one. I think they defended it from each other a little bit. But, hey, heck of an effort there by Carter Triplett. He had a lot of Tigers bearing down on him, and he was able to get that one up in the air and give his receiver at least a chance. At this point in the game, you might as well take the shot.
Absolutely.
Paid off for him at the end of the first half for sure.
Do want to mention to you that every Thursday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. on our sports edition, and later this morning, Rome, Ian joins me, and now this time of year we're picking college football games, which is fun. There's the snap, a handoff to Gay. He is going to be tripped up by the shoestrings and brought down after a pickup of 3 or 4 yards. And this week we've had 3 differences. As you mentioned earlier, we split on those last night. And so, you root for your Florida Gators. You would be anyway.
Yeah, and I got, if I feel like they have a real puncher's chance, and there's a lot of unknowns with Florida. It would not shock me to see them come out and win that game tomorrow. It wouldn't shock me if they end up losing by 10 to 14 points.
Shotgun formation, 3rd down and 2 here for the Lions, and they have got it on Darlington's side of the field at the 46. There's the snap, another handoff to Gay. He gets the first down yard, spins around to about the 40-yard line before they bring him down. The clock is ticking here, so we're down to the 139 mark, but they will stop the clock to move the chains.
And I'm interested to watch Georgia tomorrow. They replace a lot on defense, but I feel like Kirby's gotten to that point where he's just reloading, not rebuilding. So to see if there's any kind of drop-off there against Oregon will be interesting. A lot of storylines to watch tomorrow.
Definitely Georgia the favorite team, but I think a good measuring stick to see where you are with a new group. There's the snap. Quarterback's going to run it off to the right side. That is Triplett, and he's hauled out of bounds at the 35-yard line. So the Tigers defense keeping them out in front of them as the clock continues to tick. We're down to the 1-minute mark right now. Now under a minute to play.
Well, Matt, what's the post-game meal going to consist of for you tonight? There's no Buc-ee's on the way home. Sorry.
No, I mean, we hit it twice last week, once on the way there, once on the way home.
You could drive there if you want to.
Yeah.
It wouldn't take you that long.
I think I might have to open up the pantry and have some Chef Boyardee, perhaps.
No
tonight.
Cheerwine float?
Some real exquisite stuff. Here's the snap. A handoff and another first down, it looks like, here for Christian Heritage, but the clock keeps rolling down to 32.4 ticks before they stop it to move the chains. As the student section sways back and forth to the alma mater.
Aww.
And now they cheer because they know they're about to watch their team celebrate their third victory in a row, start the season 3-0, and the last 2 weeks played really good football teams. I don't really know much about the first team that they played, but they had that one in hand early on in that game. So this is a very, very talented Darlington football team. We're going to have fun watching them every week.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. And there was a penalty on that play that's going to bring it back. So they did not get the first down.
And again, next week, no game here. A bye week for the Tigers. And now Christian Heritage back at the line of scrimmage, getting ready to take a snap on 2nd and 14. There it is. They're going to hand it off again, and he's pummeled. We got to call that young man's number because he was right on top of him in a hurry. That was number 28.
Sam 20.
Sam 20. Way to go, Sam. Making a play here late in the football game, and that is going to do it in 5 seconds, 3 seconds. And this one's in the books. 36-14, your Darlington Tigers on top again tonight. Come out with a victory after a very exciting performance here tonight at Chris Hunter Stadium to move the season record to 3-0 before the bye week. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have the opportunity to award the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game, which we're looking forward to doing. And it's going to be a challenge here for us over the next couple of minutes to make that decision. But we will do that during the break, and then we'll come back and turn things over to our buddy Lynn Austin, and then also tonight Clay Graham in the studio for the scoreboard show. So we'll send it back to the studio for a break. We'll be gone for about 2 minutes. We'll come back. We'll award the Honeymoon Bakery Icing on the Cake Player of the Game. We'll wrap things up here from Chris Hunter Stadium. 36-14, Darlington wins over Christian Heritage. We'll be back.
My name is Ryan Somerville. I am the sales manager for Business Water Solutions. We do water purification coolers as well as ice machines for any size business. We're on campus right now at Darlington School. Super happy to be here. They're one of our biggest customers. I myself played sports here. Our two founders played sports here. It was absolutely our pleasure to be a sponsor for Darlington Athletics. I think one thing that really sets us apart is our water purification. There's 13 stages. The reverse osmosis part of it has been a huge part of our success, along with our 24-hour guarantee for service calls. So when a customer does call us, we're guaranteed within 24 hours. We were able to provide a touchless water system, make it more COVID-friendly in terms of germs and touching the water system. One thing I always say is we're not selling a product, we're selling our service. That's what we really push for every single day, is to have a customer service experience like they've never had before.
Shop for your next car, truck, or SUV at Riverside Auto Group. Check out riversideautogroup.com today to browse their selection, or visit with them in person at Riverside Chevrolet Buick GMC in Rome, Riverside Toyota in Rome, and the all-new Riverside Buick GMC Cadillac in Cartersville. Locally owned and operated by the Welburn family since 1974. That's Riverside Auto Group. Visit riversideautogroup.com.
They are super knowledgeable about the market in Rome, whether it's home buying, rental homes. They have their finger on the pulse of what's going on.
We both sold a house and bought a house, and the transition from both went really smoothly for us.
I feel like they've become almost a part of our family, so we're just really appreciative of Hardy and what they've done for us.
All their team put together, from maintenance to management to sales. I can't really say enough about them. I'd highly recommend them to anybody coming to town or living in Rome looking for investment properties or homes to buy.
I'd like to wish the Darlington football team a great season. Go Tigers!
Go Tigers!
Darlington Football would like to thank the following sponsors for their support of this year's live stream. Business Water Solutions, Coosa Steel, Hardy Realty, Riverside Auto Group, and Atrium Health Floyd. Thank you for your support. This broadcast is a production of Northwest Georgia Media. Thank you for watching.